My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim. 2020. That's right. We're ready to go, and this is Freedom Friday. I'm wearing the tie that Meta-Nemesis gave me for Christmas. Thank you, Meta-Nemesis. I was wearing an older one a long time ago, and I said, it was wearing out. I couldn't wear it anymore, so he got me a new one. I'm really appreciative of that. Thank you. Yeah. Kind of messed up, isn't it, how lies and deception can play out at times like this. It wasn't too long ago that we were hearing about Bill Clinton's impeachment in the House. And let's not forget that Bill Clinton used a lot of diversions to keep people from, noticing how guilty he was. Look at this New York Times ad from the time that he was impeached. Clinton launched an Iraq airstrike, citing military need to move swiftly. Diversion? Most likely. So we are looking at possible diversions with Donald Trump and the recent Baghdad attack. There's not one picture confirming the death of the Iranian commander. There's no photographic evidence that he's dead. Lawmakers are questioning the timing and legality of Trump's strike against an Iranian commander, but no evidence he's dead. Not one single picture has been presented showing his dead body. Yeah. So, what a great opportunity to take our minds off the impeachment trial that will be ensuing soon if the Senate agrees to actually take witnesses, despite the fact that Donald Trump wanted to have witnesses, and all the Republicans said, we want the whistleblower, we want Adam Schiff on trial. Mitch McConnell, Moscow Mitch, who gets money from Russia to get reelected, is now pitching the story that he doesn't want to have a trial. He doesn't want to actually have witnesses. He just wants to have a vote and put it away. So Moscow Mitch is working for the Russians, as is Lindsey Graham, who gets money from the same guy as Moscow Mitch, and both of them want to put this thing to rest. Even though Lindsey Graham has admitted that Russia rigged our election, he's just not willing to, actually have a trial showing that Donald Trump actually cheated and knew full well that Russia was rigging the election in favor of him. The only reason why I think Hillary Clinton didn't file a lawsuit against the election process is because Hillary was working for the same people that Donald is working for. And I don't mean Russians. I mean Russian Zionists. You see, this guy right here, Putin, he is a Zionist. He's a Russian Zionist. He works with the Russian oligarchs, no different than our president's working with AIPAC, a Zionist organization that supports a Zionist directive of a new world order. Now, I like Jewish people, and I like Israel, and I would see Israel as our ally. But I wouldn't do their bidding, and I wouldn't start more wars over there so that we somehow cover their ass. We need to get back to what matters for America. And we're not even taken seriously overseas, and I doubt seriously if we'll ever broker peace over there. I doubt we'll ever broker peace over there because we're not taken seriously by anyone in the Muslim world because of our overly Zionist perspective. Donald Trump is a Zionist, Vladimir Putin is a Zionist, Joe Biden is a Zionist, Hillary Clinton is a Zionist, and you know, Adolf Hitler was a Zionist too. What would Reagan have done in this case?
Well, let's ask Ronald Reagan what he would do right now. I would think that Ronald Reagan, being he knew nothing about the Iran-Contra affair and had no knowledge of anything, he'd probably sit here and say, well, where's my jar of jelly beans? Did you ask Nancy if I could have a jelly bean?
Ronald Reagan was an actor. He had no brains. You may have liked him, but he didn't have a brain in his head. Whereas Jimmy Carter, he's a genius. He has an IQ of 155. Even to this day, Jimmy Carter makes more sense than Ronald Reagan did.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down my pants.
Bottom line is, Reagan was an actor, Carter was the real deal, and all you retardicans said, oh, Carter didn't do anything. Carter lowered the speed limit to 55 miles an hour. That saved us 5% on our fuel that year. Thank you, Jimmy.
I definitely think that saving gas is very important, David. I did it on Plains, Georgia. With my farm equipment, I saved a lot of money by going very slow.
Well, I don't suffer from peanut envy, that's for sure. I hope Jimmy Carter's doing okay. He's undergone some surgery recently. Maybe he's okay now. I'm hoping he will. When he got beaten up for saying that terrible thing that the election was illegal, I felt so sorry for him. Who would hit an old 96-year-old guy? I mean, who would slug a guy like that, you know?
I definitely think that the election was illegal.
When he said that, the next day he got his face bashed in. Did you see that? He said he fell, right? I don't believe that. Poor Jimmy. Jimmy, if you're here, I got to tell you, I like you. But that eye injury, that was serious. People like you don't fall. Yeah, we know that you got beaten up. You don't have to hide it just to protect you and your wife. We know that there's a cabal of people working behind the scenes, Jimmy. And that you just got sucked into it. You got roughed up because you said that the election was illegal. We know that. So the people know that, Jimmy. We know you were honest, okay? Always remember that, okay? You don't have to worry about what you said to the press. I know what happened. I know it happens whenever somebody mouths off against the elite Zionists, they get hurt. And the only reason why they don't want to go after me is because they think I'm too small and not seen by enough people. That's why they're not hurting me. Or they try. I'm going to remove you from the room because you have your brain up your ass, 943. And when you take a poop, little brain cells go down the toilet. So don't look down there. You'll see your brains dribbling down in the poop section. I have billions of viewers. I have 1.5 billion viewers every night on UHF. And the elites don't know what to do with me. I've got a daily show that they can't stop. They would probably, love to be able to shut us off, but they can't because the power of the free internet keeps spreading the word, and they can't stop that. They censor us, though. Believe me, they paid Mark lots of money to censor me. If Joe Biden gave me a call right now, I would take the VP position. I would. I never disliked Joe except for those weird pictures with kids. But he's never done anything bad to kids that I know of. Okay, we got more explosive reports coming out about Trump and Deutsche Bank. Thank you. Okay, here we go. This story actually gained national attention a few months ago, but nobody heard about it in our country. America is being held back on a lot of this stuff, but exclusive report indicates that Donald Trump's loans from Deutsche Bank were backed by Russia. There's UHF towers everywhere, Medveral. They're rebroadcasting me across the globe. Now, it's not something I control. So this is an explosive report, kind of like explosive diarrhea. You just can't stop it, you know? The smell just makes you... I'm sorry, I have explosive diarrhea. Well, that's kind of the story with Donald Trump and Russia. No matter where you turn, you smell the stink of Russian contamination in the American election. Yeah. All right. Trump Tardo says that 40 miles may only get 2 or 3 viewers who are 80 years old, but spend $950,000 on electricity is worth it for Dave. Thank you, Trump Tardo. So we know that Deutsche Bank accepted mob guarantees. There are a lot of questions about the Deutsche Bank story. The guy who handled Donald Trump's loans died last month in Malibu. Yeah, he would have had all the answers had we subpoenaed him for information about Trump's spurious loans with Deutsche Bank, but he ended up dying last month in Malibu from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't believe he killed himself. He was killed by somebody to shut him up. And that's been happening all over the place, and our government isn't even bothering to look into this. There have been countless cases of people being blown away or suicided with a garroting, and they string them up. And it's happening all over the place. Do you realize that there's 3 witnesses that claim that Kevin Spacey allegedly sexually assaulted them, and they're all dead now in the past 2 years? The statistical likelihood of that is 1 in 10 trillion. So now we're looking at Kevin Spacey as a guy with too much power that can get rid of people. His last statement to the world was he's going to kill people with kindness. What kind of a person says that? Unless they're guilty of something. But we have to allege that he's not guilty until proven innocent, until proven guilty. So we're still there with Kevin. Tell me, all the Republicans are greedy. Our biggest problem right now is greed. When Donald Trump took the Deutsche Bank money of $1 billion, and you're saying, well, how could he do that? He's got $10 billion. No, Donald Trump actually has only about $3 billion. Look it up. He lied to you people. Trump's net worth, look at that. You can look it up on your own. Check your internet. Trump's net worth, look at this. $3.1 billion. Yep. $3.1 billion is his net worth. He doesn't have $10 billion. He's managed to pump up his net worth, in fact, make fake phone calls to the New York Times claiming it was somebody else, pumping up his fake news. Basically, he said that he was a billionaire so that he could get on the list of billionaires. It's ridiculous. We do need term limits. I agree. I would never vote for Bernie because he's in the 1% and he doesn't even have any track record of stopping Wall Street, and he won't even commit to firing everybody at the SEC. I promise you I will fire everybody at the SEC once I take the presidency. And we'll do this, and we'll bring watchdog people in to get real accountability from Wall Street. Bernie won't commit to that. Bernie's too much of a kiss-ass suck-up. Look at how he threw the election in favor of Hillary Clinton in 2016. And then got 2 houses worth $600,000 and an Audi R8 as part of his reward. Oh yeah, he's all about the money. Bernie's a suck monster. He's a moocher. Bernie the moocher. But then you look at Joe Biden, a guy who probably is a blue-collar guy from way back and who knows full well how corrupt this world is, but he still wants to be president because his son, Beau, wanted him to be president. I actually like that quality in Joe. I do. I may not trust everything Joe says, and as you know, Joe doesn't support legalization of marijuana, and I do. But I can tell you that Joe is probably the best choice among the Democrats because most of them are completely off to the left. Completely. Ironically, Joe Biden's the more centrist of the people in that bunch. Now, because I've been censored for the past 11 years in every media form except the internet, I have a whole group of people that come in here trying to slam on me, claiming you haven't done anything in 12 years or 11 years. I beg to differ. I'm breaking through a wall of censorship every day. Every single night we do this show, and I have shown more consistency than any human being on earth regarding this show. There's nobody who does a show more regular than I do. Nobody. There are people that put out a 1-hour video on YouTube once a week. I do a 5-hour show every night, 6 days a week, plus 3 additional hours for video. So we've been lied to about that. We got a lot of other stories to talk about. Yes, indeedy. Let's go back here. Illinois has sold $3.2 million in marijuana sales since they started just a couple days ago. The biggest showing of any state that's allowed it. Yep. So that's a good sign. And I believe it will help deal with the turf wars that are going on in Chicago once people start opening up. Gang members will open up, recreational marijuana stores because they got plenty of money, of course. So it may just consolidate territories, which I hope will help. Bill Gates, the complete and utter suck-up that he is now claiming he wants to raise taxes on America's billionaires. Well, I agree with that. But let's start by seizing all his assets, okay? Yeah, because most of his assets came from government-funded upgrades to their operating systems. Most of Bill Gates' huge wealth came from government contracts. And one of the things I learned about Bill Gates early on was that Windows 3.1 was literally built on 15,000 government-purchased computers. And you know how I know that? I walked into Micron Computers in 1988 and asked the leader, the head guy, the tech guy, what he was doing because he was so stressed out. And he said, yeah, I just got an order from the government to build 15,000 clone PCs and put Windows 3.1 on it. We're trying to get it to work right now. I saw the beginning of Bill Gates right before my very eyes, and it's all government money. Yeah, sure, you guys put money into your operating system expecting to have some safety and security. There were no patches guaranteeing your safety. This guy's gotten away with producing upgrade after upgrade without patching and protecting an incredible mountain of bad code called Windows. And he even hired somebody, Steve Ballmer, who actually condemned Linux as an operating system, called it all kinds of names. Steve Ballmer, right? He's made $54 billion as a CEO when he was the CEO at Microsoft. $54 billion this guy made. And he condemned Linux. Has he apologized now that Windows is choosing Windows 11 to be based on a Linux model? No, he hasn't said anything. So all of these hugely successful morons have produced software that doesn't have safety and guarantees for you, the end user, and they think they can get away with that. Well, we'll be working on that when I'm president. I'm not going to sit back and watch our country screw our consumers over without taking some of that money out of the corporate structure that profited from it. I don't have anything older than Windows XP. Yeah. I still have my Windows 98 disks and Windows 98.5, Windows 90, I have those disks, I just don't run anything that old. Windows 7 is very functional, but I understand soon Bill Gates won't be covering Windows. So if he wants to tax billionaires, by all means, let's do it. Sad news on the news front here. A palm reader told a woman her daughter was possessed and scammed her out of $70,000, police say. Isn't that sad? A Massachusetts palm reader is accused of scamming women out of more than 70 grand by convincing the victim that her daughter was possessed by a demon. Yeah. I think the demon was sitting in the office there asking for $70,000. The mother ended up paying Milinovich $71,000 and purchased her home goods like bedding and towels. She was arrested December 17th and indicted on Monday. Somerset Police Department is encouraging anyone who thinks they were scammed by Milinovich to reach out. But try not to touch anybody. They could be possessed. If you call Microsoft and hit the Windows prompt, your question won't be answered. They're charging out the butt just for advice. I know. That's been the way ever since. You know, I was trying to write letters to Microsoft. Get this. I wrote a letter to Microsoft through a couple of, well, since I couldn't write to Microsoft, they can't contact them. All their numbers are hidden, secret. I couldn't get an email through. I went to one of Microsoft's chat rooms on a gaming site, and I made some comments about how Bing wasn't even plugging their search engine, or it wasn't even plugging their new Windows, or rather Outlook. You know that Hotmail and Outlook are run by Microsoft. Well, when Outlook was merged with Hotmail, Microsoft didn't even put a link to it on Bing. And I was trying to get through to say, hey, you really should put a link on Bing, your search engine, to your email provider. I did get a response. They said, don't ever write anything in this chat room again. It's not illegal it's not allowed for you to write to us through this chat room. So Microsoft is its own worst enemy. Just like Google is its own worst enemy. They won't contact you or communicate with you about YouTube. You can't get an ombudsman to say, oh yes, we heard you were taken, censored, and taken off the air. We want to listen to your case. They don't have anybody who will do that. There's no communication with any of these people at these big corporations that are sucking off the government tit. Why does the government have the ability to buy up companies like Google and own presiding shares in them? Because they created a shell corporation called In-Q-Tel, where they can continue to buy unbelievable amounts of Google stock and act like, oh yeah, lots of people support that. Google is owned by the United States government. They're fleecing all the information you put on there as part of their social networking harvesting program. And they own half of Facebook too. Oh yeah. It's getting weird, folks. And the reason is the government can print up money and buy anything they want. You heard of Anonymous? That's owned by the government. The entire Anonymous website and everything on it is run out of a government operation, out of a production studio. They own Anonymous because they buy hackers. They can easily buy a hacker. A hacker is easy to buy with printed money. I agree. Monopolies and conglomerates are dangerous, but I'd rather have democratic control over them than national socialist control like they have now, where they watch your every move and are going to turn it into a social network called social crediting, where they charge you a credit point for every bad thing you do on the internet. It's all coming. Chinese-style social credit systems are geared up and ready to go and be installed in America. You know who created them? Our own designers. Mark Zuckerberg went over to China. He's an advisor, a technical advisor for security for national Chinese security systems. Mark Zuckerberg. He's all set to implement it right here. Dave, I have to lose 15 holiday pounds. Any workout suggestions? Well, I would recommend you eat less than you exercise. So when you exercise, eat less. You'll feel much better. Yeah, it's a combination of eating less and exercising that'll make you lose pounds pretty quick. You can't even join anything on Google? You've been kicked out? Really? Yeah, just make sure your body's working more than your mouth eating food. Hang on. Okay. Back at you. Okay, Max, I can't take that story. It's a BS story. Yeah. I can't take that story about Putin being controlled by Trump. That's impossible. Well, you can always get my cooking segments if you go to my website, youtube.com / David John Sponheim. Yeah, I have cooking shows, almost 100 recipes now, all under $10 to feed up to 10 people. Check it out. Well, I don't advise intermittent fasting, although some people like it. Cutting your carbs is the key to losing weight, though. Yeah, but if you follow my cooking show, you may gain weight because I have a lot of carbohydrates on there. You can't feed 10 people for $10 or less than $10 without cooking carbs. Sorry to say. Now, because we have so many attackers and haters here who are being paid to attack us, we have to constantly ban people. So bear in mind, I do ban people, but I did unban everybody for the new year. So I do entertain a lot of people. Portion size, yeah, there you go. Maxed Out Credit lost over 30 points or 30 pounds, and he has been cutting his portions and following my recipes, and it's working out for him. Well, I'm glad I only kicked you once if you've been a fan for all these years. I would not sell my Honda, Lou. I told people that the only way I would sell my Honda is if somebody drove up with an eco van and said, "Hey, Dave, I want to trade you my eco van for your car." Because I really just want one of those cool Sprinter vans, custom, you know. That would be really ideal. I mean, you can just see me in the presidential suite driving down the road. That would be the presidential suite in the eco van. Isn't that cool? Anything like that, that would be cool. I'd do it. That's sold already. It has to have a bathroom. Yeah, I require a bathroom in there. But that's what I want. That's the only thing I'd trade my hybrid for. But it's not an even trade. So you missed my streaming game from 1998. I did miss it. Sorry, I have to miss those things. Do you actually have a Netscape browser, really? Yeah, there's no support for Netscape. I'm so sorry. Well, having a place to go to the bathroom when you're on the road, when you're, a person who's trying to avoid the paparazzi, that would be very important. If I got out of the van and said, "Hey, man, can I use your bathroom, dude?" People would see me, All right. Well, we established a lot of things. We haven't really covered the story that Donald Trump wants us to cover. He's going very hard against the terrible Iranian threat right now. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Oh, he's very, very strong. Everyone, listen to Donald Trump talk about what a strong leader. Let's listen to this draft dodger talk about what a great person he is right now. Go ahead, it's your time to shine, Donald. We're waiting.
As president, my highest and most solemn duty is the defense of our nation and its citizens. Last night, at my direction, the United States military successfully executed a flawless precision strike that killed the #1 terrorist anywhere in the world, Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel, but we caught him in the act and terminated him.
What act was that? The act of, what was he, in a bathroom and you terminated him? How come there's no photographs of his dead body anywhere in the country, in the world? There's not one picture of a dead body of Soleimani.
Under my leadership, America's policy is unambiguous to terrorists who harm or intend to harm any American. We will find you, we will eliminate you, we will always protect our diplomats, service members, all Americans, and our allies. For years, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its ruthless Quds Force, under Soleimani's leadership, has targeted, injured, and murdered hundreds of American civilians and servicemen. 1,000 the recent attacks on U.S. targets in Iraq, including rocket strikes that killed an American and injured 4 American servicemen very badly, as well as a violent assault on our embassy in Baghdad, were carried out at the direction of Soleimani. Soleimani made the death of innocent people his sick passion, contributing to terrorist plots as far away as New Delhi and London.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we have no picture of Soleimani's dead body. Not one confirmation of his dead body. Kind of like Osama bin Laden when they claimed they killed him and we wanted to see his dead body. Oh no. The Navy decided to throw Osama bin Laden overboard in a nighttime burial in which he was thrown over into the North Arabian Sea with a white sheet around him. But not one person on board at an aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson, had a digital camera to take a picture of it. So Osama bin Laden allegedly died the same way Soleimani died. Maybe we don't want to show any proof of anything. Just lie to the American people that you did a big thing, Donald, and we're supposed to believe it. Oh, yeah. That's a very, very good diversion you've got there. Good diversion against the upcoming trial, which Mitch McConnell says he doesn't even want to do. Oh, yeah. Moscow Mitch, giving Donald another break. Now, Mark and his French butt buddy is being paid by the group called Beep, Beep, Beep. Why don't you tell me flat out who pays Mark Trumtardo? You never, ever deliver the truth. You keep putting this out there like it's a big joke. I've asked you to send me letters. You never send me a letter. Nothing. So I have to assume you're just pulling my string. I don't watch CNN. No. CNN watches me. I'm bigger than CNN. And I appreciate that. Thank you for broadcasting over at iBlog, too. Did you hear iBlog was going to be bought by Mark for $3.2 million? That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay, we're done with the BS coming out of the Trump cabinet about all the big things he's doing to start a war against Iran. Oh, you're such a tough guy, Mr. Draft Dodger, trying to claim that he's leading our troops somewhere. When he's just doing whatever he is told. Nope, he's got lots of money, you're lying. I don't know. Now, this is a story that you're not going to believe. But believe it or not, Twitter is now saying that shadow banning is an official part of the terms of service. Now, many of us have had our Twitter accounts shut down, like myself. I've had the same number of followers since 2009. The same number. And it's proof that every time I tweet, I've had over, well, in 1 month, I get 30,000 impressions, but not one follower. That's impossible. So shadow banning has been a thing that they've been doing for some time. And Breitbart has a story. Now it's officially a part of their terms of service. The process of limiting a Twitter account's reach, commonly referred to as shadow banning, has now been added to the company's official terms of service. The process of limiting people getting in. And sometimes when you tweet, you're the only one who knows you're tweeting. Nobody else sees it. You're shadow banned, and they definitely can make that happen. All right. ReclaimTheNet.org notes that the recent change to Twitter's terms of service adds that the company may also remove or refuse to distribute any content on the service's limited distribution or visibility of any content on the service. They do not clarify what content may be subject to limited distribution or visibility, giving the company free rein to limit any content it sees fit. So Twitter, the company that decided to make Pizzagate a bad word because you were exposing pedophiles in Washington, you could lose your account, now says that they can shadow ban you willy-nilly. Yeah, exactly, Meta-Nemesis. Really? Have you seen pictures of her upper torso? Does she look a little bit bigger up above? All right, well, that's a very important story, and I'm going to put that on my Flipboard under Tech News. Yeah, I keep a whole list of video of all the links I do here. It could be a section just for censorship alone, but I don't really have it yet. You know, I'm going to put that in the Reddit room, because everything that goes in the Reddit room is either censored or related to censorship. So I'm going to put it in the Reddit room. It's related to the social networks, so the Reddit room is good. Remember Aaron Schwartz, the guy who created Reddit? He was terminated. He was killed. They called it a suicide, but he was killed. Yeah. What is Moscow Mitch doing right now? He's probably on the phone right now with Russia asking him what else they want him to do. Yeah, Moscow Mitch is on record receiving money, $3 million from a Russian oligarch named Len Blavatnik. He claims that he's helping America when in fact he's helping Russia. You know that Moscow Mitch gave an aluminum contract, not to Americans, but to a Russian aluminum company in Kentucky? Isn't that unbelievable? No, I didn't get a haircut. What I do is I use a thing called shampoo. Yeah, it's very unique. You put it in your hair and it foams up and it washes your hair. You should try some. Okay, we got a reference to a new documentary, not a nude documentary, but a new documentary exploring a little-known side of George Washington's premieres on History Channel. Apparently, post-presidency Roll was one of America's biggest whiskey distillers. Whoa, that's news. Well, whatever the revisionist History Channel wants to do to make us remember George Washington, that's great. But to denigrate our leader, our former first president of this great nation, they're going to provide $1 million to historic Mount Vernon to rebuild a distillery on its original location. So apparently booze was a big part of Washington's life. No wonder his teeth rotted out and he had to put false teeth in his mouth. Use a special kind of shampoo in your hair? Excellent. Excellent. RT has a story on de Blasio. Aluminium. Aluminium. It is not aluminum, David. It's aluminium. The English pronunciation is more accurate. No, I don't think anything's true unless you vet it. De Blasio warns New Yorkers of a new reality in the wake of the killing of Iran's Soleimani. A de facto state of war. Oh, de Blasio, yeah. Mr. New World Order puppet, claiming we're in a de facto state of war. Isn't that convenient that we'd be in a state of war right before Donald Trump is being impeached? Or having been impeached, being tried. That's very special. De Blasio is turning out to be a de facto shill for the New World Order. Look at this guy.
Last night, we are dealing with a different reality. And I said it last night. We're in, at this point, a de facto state of war between the United States of America and Iran. But we have never confronted, in recent decades, the reality of a war with a government of a large country with an international terror network at its behest. And no one has to be reminded that New York City is the #1 terror target in the United States. I'm saying this because New Yorkers deserve to know that we've entered into a different reality.
Okay, we're in de facto state of war. Thank you, de Blasio, puppet for a day. Meanwhile, Mexican drug cartels take man and behead him, ISIS style. So we're supposed to believe that all the bad guys in Iran, and we got a border crisis that Trump is partly responsible for. Yeah, there is no pic. You have a pic of the... Yeah, you haven't sent me a pic yet, Insane Canadian. I haven't gotten an email from you. Never arrived. Your grandma uses a bib at restaurants? That's cool. Well, dude, I'm looking at my my account, and I'm going there. Hang on. I'm going to go there again and see if I can get it. Maybe it came in late. Maybe it was a spam or something. I'll check my spam folder. I'm checking for it. Ah, you got it? Okay, thanks. Wow. Well, I guess you do. Okay, we now have a picture of his dead body. And the only identifying feature of his body was the ring he wore. Now, I'm going to put some of this off screen so you don't have to look at it. It's carnage. Apparently, the strike turned a bag of hamburger meat turned his body into a bag of hamburger meat. But they do have a picture of his hand, which does have the ring on it. Okay. I appreciate the link. Thank you. It finally made it in. Okay, so we have confirmation that Soleimani is dead because somebody with a ring was wearing it when he was taken out. I see. And that's enough for you to believe it's him. All right, whatever. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'm not here to contest whether he really died or not. I'm concerned about Donald Trump starting a war with Iran right now, conveniently as a diversion technique. A pretty obvious diversion technique to get our minds off of what's really happening. Donald Trump was just impeached in the House. And basically Pelosi is looking at new articles of impeachment as well to make this scene a lot more realistic so the Republicans will realize that Donald Trump has been colluding with Russia and worse, using the office illegally, obstructing Congress and misusing his powers. Yeah. So Donald Trump decides to start an attack on Iran, just a good solid diversion. So right now there's a lot of talk about Trump murdering General Soleimani to stop terrorist plots that he was supposedly orchestrating against the U.S. for the Iranian government. Yet right now the second most dangerous place in the world is Mexico, where drug cartel terrorists are beheading people on camera, ISIS style. Ask yourself, if the U.S. is looking at a war with Iran over claims of terrorism thousands of miles away, but there are objective real terrorist threats from drug cartel terrorists in Mexico, could there be something else going on here? And while Americans are fixated on building the wall and war with Iran, people in Mexico and Central America are suffering the narcos. Yeah, so you got to wonder what's really happening. Terrible beheadings going on. I can't even play this on camera. I won't even play this. This is the moment of interrogation, decapitation, and dismemberment of a young man whom they accused of having belonged to a group of drug trafficking commandos has circulated on social networks. I won't even play it. I don't want to put any carnage on the screen if I can avoid it. All right. Yeah. I'm just as concerned as you are, yeah. Hey, I bring up a lot of things on our show, and many of you don't know that our show takes on all the tough subjects that many people could think are conspiracies. But we stand for something much different than the two parties. We stand for a brand new approach to help the American people wake up to the dangers of a reckless government that's been not saving us from the dangers of cell phones next to our head, not warning us about the dangers of fluoride in our water system or chemtrails being dumped on our heads daily. So I put together a little piece of information I'm going to play for you, which is a kind of an intro to what we're doing. And I'll play that for you right now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our show. As we continue exposing the different aspects of Donald Trump that are very suspicious, his ties to Russia, his control by Russia, we're taking in all this new information now. Trump starting a war, literally, with Iran, claiming that this is something we're really working on. The timing is just too convenient to make us think that Donald Trump is trying very carefully to divert our attention from what's really going on. He was impeached in the House, and now questions about his complicity with Putin are raised left and right. So we are taking on the tough subjects. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
We have one story right here, which we're going to play tonight from Vice. I can't play it right now, but Vice will have this to show you. Russia is winning with climate change. This is how Russia is profiting off global warming. This is something that Vice did for HBO. We're going to take a look at that tonight. Yes, hello. Why has Donald Trump not presented any pictures or any tapes of Putin's conversations with him? Why are there no tapes?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Why are there no tapes of Putin? Why has Donald Trump not produced any IRS tax returns? And why has he attacked all the witnesses in every case brought against him? Because that's what guilty people do.
You can bring yourself back over.
Just want you to know, and I'm good. I just want you to know that I'm just leaving you with that thought. That's what guilty people do. They don't make conversation tapes. When he knew he was under investigation with Putin 3 years ago, he could have started recording every conversation, but no. He refuses to record any conversation he makes with Putin. Yeah, isn't that amazing? And get this. Back in 2017, Donald Trump berated his staff for not allowing a call from Putin to come through. I'm serious. He said, "What the hell were you thinking?" Trump berated White House staff for not telling him Putin was trying to call him. He answers to Putin, people. He does his bidding. This is a fact that was generated right in front of us. This is a Business Insider story. I'll play it for you. You can go ahead and link it yourself and check it out. But he answers to Putin. When Putin says jump, Trump says how high. So yeah, we're in the show now to talk about other things, but I just wanted to bring you that up to date information and take a break. Sarah's going to talk to you now and kind of mellow things out. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it is pretty odd. I think it's odd that Trump is just so cozy with Putin.
Yeah,
I would say that at the very least, it's odd. Yes. So hello everyone. My name's Sarah, and you were just listening to David Sponheim, who's running for president in 2020. If you haven't heard of him before, I'm glad that you have finally heard of him and that you can now realize you have more opportunity, someone new to vote for. Okay, I am going to, I've got to just open up one more. Hello, so we're broadcasting on 5 different sites right now. I'm pulling up the final site. So youtube.com/America's Third Party, iVlog.tv/America's Third Party, Vaughn.live Third Party, Vaughn.live/Third Party, Twitch TV/Cool Rock Party, and David has his own site, which is coolrock.com. Joe Denitant, hello, and in ragged acknowledgement of the... Wait, what? There is no... I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. I agree. ATP in 2020. That would be great. Daryl, you've seen the light. Good. All right. And hello, maxed out credit. So I'm watching chat rooms at all of those places, and I hope to I hope to respond to all of your chat commentary. One person thinks that something about Kosovo that's not true. Back to school Monday. Yes, that's what I do. I teach, and I will be back to school on Monday. I'm actually kind of looking forward to going back to school. How about that? Yeah, it's I know I'm kind of funny like that, but I really enjoy what I do a lot. So that should be fun for me. I disagree. It'll be Sponheim in 2020, not the person that you're rooting for. We're definitely not into Trump. Hello, Kai Wolf. Yes, guests are being watched. The kids will be sleepy. All right. Well, we're going to get to busy. We'll be reading a book. About mustache. And we will... Sure, moon base one. David said he just did that, so I'll do it again. Anyway. Yeah, it's about a mustache. It'll be interesting. But no, not beards. I know it seems like people have really gone into beards lately. Like there's more people that are wearing beards. Men have like this 5 o'clock shadow beard thing. It does seem like beards are the new in thing. There's like beard balm you can get to keep your beard soft. I don't really know, but I do like that. I like that David doesn't have a beard. And there's other people that I think beards are good. I really don't, True Blue. No, I don't. That it's happening? No, I don't. That it should happen? No, I don't. Now they shave the hair on the sides of their head, so it's like this and then a beard. That's pretty interesting. David could definitely grow a beard if he wanted to. I think he doesn't grow a beard because I asked him not to. I'm sure he would grow a beard if I asked him to, but I don't think a beard looks very good. So, for him anyway. Yeah, it's raining here too, True Blue. And it's very, very windy here. We were just commenting that we used to get really heavy winds in November, and that's when we would collect all of our branches to make our Christmas tree because of how all of the winds that would happen in November. But now it's like the winds are starting January 1st, it seems, is when the winds really started now, and now it seems really, really windy. Everything seems 1 month late. I know that the rain causes the winds. This, I need a new battery on. I'm going to tell David when he gets back. I'll leave this up like that. Tell him that needs a new battery. Okay. I was like doing David's thing where he always like touches the mouse and like does everything with that. But anyway. Yeah, I need to work on that. My dogs don't cry. Yeah, that's true. You think more distinguished? Well, Trump nor Putin, neither of them grow a beard, so. Sarah, do you think behavior is predictable? Within limits, yes, I do. Like, if you put chocolate in front of me, I will probably eat it. Behavior is predictable. You see something sad, you're likely to cry. Yeah, behavior is predictable. My eyes seem like they're not focusing together. Especially this eye. It seems off. Maybe it's because the hair is over there. I'll pull my hair the other way. See if that helps my eyes. I don't know. It seems weird. You can predict the kids on Monday will be very loud. Well, then we'll have to practice the rules multiple times. Raise your hands for permission to speak, at least when I'm teaching in front of you. One of the things, I give them some time in the morning to research things that they want to research. They have to do literacy, read and write and research, but they're open to researching what they want. So I was going to talk to them about that, and do that, or I was going to go in strict direct instruction mode. I do need to look and see what my email says. If there's a certain thing, if that's not happening, then I'll go straight into reviewing the rules and we'll be working together. So oh, did I make any vow goals or short-term within 1 year resolutions for the new year? Well, I still haven't met my goal, which was to drink 3 glasses of water every morning. Maybe I can do that. What should you be doing right now? That's my stern look. Anyway. You resolve not to allow a fake relationship to take over your life. Good. So when people act as they always did, do you think you should feel shocked by them acting predictably despite their promises of change? Good point. No, you're right. So good. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, people usually are the same people. Yeah, I do need to, drink more water though. Thanks, Bangolitis. I'm glad you like my hair. Yeah, I do think I should start the year with music for my students. That would be good. That's a good idea. I have these cool lights. They're LED and they change colors. And they change. Anyway, I think I'll make sure I run the lights and start the music in the morning. I think it takes 2 weeks straight to remember a new regime or routine. I think it's more like a month. I'm sorry that people were the same and you thought they had changed. Well, I'm my own hairdresser, so there you go, Bangolitis. I have worked out in the past. I haven't really done aerobics, but I have worked out in the past. I'm glad you got a gift from an old friend. And that was the thing you had said kids love to show off. I was going to talk to kids about how each of us have our own things that we want to learn about. And I was going to encourage them to research something that they want to learn about. And I was going to talk to them how the things I might want to learn about is I might want to know more about how things work, the way things work. I might want to learn more about computer code and how that works. I like that. I like learning about that. I also might want to learn more about cancer because my friends and I have some friends that had cancer, and nice job, don't worry, be happy. No, I have not Bengalitis. Geometry would be cool, yeah. So you might want to learn about geometry. You might want to learn about... Anyway, and then I want them to each choose what they want to learn about and learn it, and then share what they learned with us, with the rest of us. I check my P.O. box like maybe once a week. Oh yes, you might want to learn about water dynamics. Kids love water and dirt and composting. Yeah. Speaking of composting, I did a little writing on that. On composting. So you need to like contact those people and tell them you need to remove me from your mailing list if you get junk mail every day. Call up all the people that send you junk mail and say, I want to no longer get this mail from you. Well, just start with one. Call up one at a time. David's laughing at me, I think. Sometimes the post office is instructed to deliver their advertising stuff. No worries. Ah. Baby girl green eyes said hi to David. And McDundee says hi to me. Hello, McDundee. Clay modeling and poetry. It'd be cool if I had the kids like make a diorama. Maybe I should teach them about myths and fables, myths, and then they made a diorama of the myths, mythical beings. It's all good. Sarah, why do we have silent consonants and how often is Y a vowel? I'll give you a 5-minute. Let me see if I can do this in 5 minutes. It all started, let's do a brief history of the English language. The brief history of the English language is in England. Because of its location, a lot of different countries took it over. So at one time, it was actually occupied by the Welsh. And then they were pushed north when the German came over and took over England, and there was, I forget the name of the wars, I should research that, but they came and took over, and then everybody spoke German in England, or a derivation of German at least. And then there was the battle where the French came in. I think that was the Battle of Hastings. And the Battle of Hastings came in, and then the French became the kings and queens of Britain. And so therefore, in English, there's two ways to say pretty much everything. One is often deemed as like a cruder way, but it's not necessarily cruder. It's just derived from German, because when the French took over and then became the kings and queens, then it was seen as the French way of saying something in English was seen more as like refined, because the royalty spoke it, and then the German derived way was seen more as crude. Let me give you an example. There's two different ways to say the water in your mouth in English. You have those two ways. Both, one is more of a crude way, spit, and the other one is more, they consider more refined, saliva. Spit derives from German and saliva derives from French. That's why English is just such a difficult language to learn, because of all the ways it has derived. Now, if you want to find out the history of certain words, I highly recommend a website called Etym Online. I don't know if there's you're welcome. Etym Online. Etym is from etymology. Not to be confused with entomology, which is the study of insects, which I also like, but the study of words. Let me pull this up for you to show you all. ETYM ology, ETYM, and then online.com. You can have the online. Sorry, let me get this. There we go. The online etymology dictionary. So if you were to type in, I'll type in, I hate spit and saliva, so let me think of something else like face. All right. So then what's cool about this is you can actually, it will give you a brief history of the word and where it derives from. So originally everything came from Latin. Most of the words came from Latin and Greek. But then that whole, like I said, with the issues with the German and French battles and how they took over England, that's basically it. So we are considered a Romance language because so many of our words came from the Roman Empire, Italy. Okay. So face was originally circa 1300, the human face, a face, facial appearance or expression, likeness or image from the Old French face, maybe? Face, countenance, look, appearance. 12th century from Vulgar Latin, faccia. All source also of Italian fascia, like focaccia maybe? From Latin, facies, appearance, form, figure. So it tells you all the history of the word, which is very good. Now, the next thing, if you're going to worry about, or if you're going to be like me and want to know how to help children read, you need to know like that was like a 3-minute history of the English language. Then you have to learn that in English, the next thing is vowels. In other languages, even Romance languages like Spanish, there's only 5 vowels. Like in America, we have the same 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. In Spanish, those 5 vowels always have one sound. In English, we have vowels that have many different sounds. You most commonly known is the short vowels, a, I, and But we also have the long vowels, A, E, I, O, U. We also have this one vowel is called a schwa. And so one of my favorite things is called syllabification. And so helping kids learn to read, the easy part are like the little 3-letter words, when most of them are basically short vowels. The first thing to teach them is, of course, short vowels and the consonants. But then when we get into, my favorite thing is syllabification. So I should do a little quick video on that, shouldn't I? Probably should. Well, let me write the word syllabification on here on the screen. Tell you why it's my favorite thing. All right, let's add. Well, a lot of them do come from French words, probably because it was so close to the Romance languages. And then you can enlighten me, 403, with your brief history of the English language. Well, yes, if your English teacher always talked to you about where to place your tongue in your mouth, because that where you place your tongue is how we make all the sounds that we say. You learned French, Italian, English all at the same time. That's very good. No, you can't have any of my hair. Well, why does consumerism mess up proper English? Because they look for words that make sense. Like the word bic it goes with all the rules of creating a word in English. It makes sense. In Chinese, they have they have vowels that I can't even say, because their E and their I are, there's some things what they say that Americans have a very difficult time, or English speaking people have a difficult time saying those. I guess I should start a new one. French Canadians very similar to Mandarin Chinese pronunciation, you think? Any of the phrases are exactly the same under different meanings. Can I tell your significant other if they won't talk to you, then you can't make peace with them? Yes, dialogue is important if you want to reconcile. Make sure you do put it into Bengalitis. Make sure if you're really working on something that you want the world to benefit from and you don't care about copyright, make sure that you do actually put it in open source or because otherwise somebody else could try to copyright it. Okay, let me see. That's not what I want. Okay. I just have to look at something. Just cancel this and I'll ask David where he wants me to save it later. Yes, well we have a restroom for a nursing restroom that any child can use, and there's also lockable restroom. The way our particular school is set up, there are restrooms where certain doors can be closed, so anyone can use them if needed, if need be. It hasn't become an issue at our school, but we were, not every restroom is like that, but there are certain restrooms like that. There is enough, so it's, yeah. So if it became an issue, it would be fine, but it hasn't become an issue. I've heard that in Quebec they don't allow other languages other than French till grade 5. Sometimes they have sports at our school. Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a PE program, which is really fantastic. It's really great. So each each class goes to a PE teacher for 2 times a week for 30 minutes each for a total of an hour of PE every week. We also do a morning walk in the morning. Kids walk around the track. Well, we have a school counselor as well. So, yeah, if kids need to, there is one. There's a school counselor, and yeah. So kids can of course tell me what they want to tell me, but then any big issues I'll ask, I'll refer them to the school counselor. Especially like kids can be upset about something and they need to talk to someone when I need to teach a subject. We have if teachers have an issue, it's best to not I don't think it would be good to go to the school counselor. I mean, you can, but that's not what the school counselor is there for. They have our school district pays for it's called Employee Assistance Program, where you can call someone on the phone if a staff member has an issue, they can call someone on the phone and talk to them. And then yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I know. I don't see Hog Slimmer on iVlog right now. Yeah, I've never used it. I think it's good that it's there though. And it's really good because it's like it can be anonymous, so they do let the district know if people are using the program, so the district knows if it's a worthwhile investment. And the people, from what I've heard, is like they might refer you to, here's a counselor in your area, or if you need legal advice or something like that. Hopefully not. I don't think so. Insist on seeing CCTV feeds or something. Yes, I definitely would reach out to any student I see that doesn't seem to be feeling well. I always try to talk to all students and help them feel good. I think students, all people need as many people to have people in their life to have a positive relationship with them and know that they care about them, and I think all people need that. David and I were talking today about how much I really like Mr. Rogers, and like a couple of friends got me these encouragements for Christmas, and I really love the book that Meta-Nemesis sent me this year, and it's just I really try to harness that Mr. Rogers idea of everybody needs someone to like them just the way they are, and we all have issues that we've been through in our life. And one of the things we were talking about today is not to, because sometimes I know I can be like a little bit like happy sunshine, and I was reading today in the World According to Mr. Rogers about really it takes strength to confront your feelings and to share your feelings, and even when they're when you're feeling angry or sad. Awesome, Metanemesis. Yeah, I totally love Mr. Rogers and used to watch him when I was a kid. I had nightmares and my mom thought it was from his. She didn't want me to watch the World of Make Believe for some weird reason. But anyway. But I really feel like that's such an important message that we really need to care for each other, and we do need to, if something bad happens, acknowledge it. But I strongly feel that even if something bad happens to you, I don't believe in using it as an excuse to not try to be a good person or do good in your life. I try not to slow anyone down, maxed out credit. If anything, I try to speed some people up, but I don't. If he maxed out credit asks, do I have to slow people down in my class? He's to have others keep up, and really I try to encourage students to learn as quickly as they can, whatever the things that they want to learn. Yeah, and I don't think pills are necessarily the answer either. 403. Sarah, classic English grammar says we should call animals like it. Are you talking about pronouns? They, them, he, she, and then it for the animals.
Okay, I took care of that chicken.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I think there's this big push for people to have pronoun preferences, and
Pronoun preferences, wow.
I don't know. And I mean, I think if someone told me what their preferred pronouns are, yes, I would use those preferred pronouns, because I just, out of respect, I want to appreciate people the way they are.
They being the operative word, they, they want to be known as they, right?
Sometimes there are people that want to be known as they. Sometimes there's people that want to be known as he and she and him and her, and I think.
What about it?
Yeah, I haven't really seen that for some reason.
There are people who are asexual, so.
I know. I should say my preferred pronoun is it. But Pirate makes a good choice. Like in classic grammar English, we used to call animals it. Is that why people don't seem to have it as one of their preferred pronouns? It is going to leave soon. Sarah is going to leave soon. I know. I don't think a boat has to be a she or a parrot, well, a he, unless, but it does go back to, as I was saying, in certain romantic languages, there was a pronoun for each noun, like la casa, the house.
Yeah.
Or they would, I'm not pronoun, they would assign a gender to each object.
We have a wonderful children's book here that my sister gave me for Christmas. It's called A Child's Book of Trump. And it's written by, Michael Ian Black and Mark Rosenthal. And it's really interesting. It profiles the evolution of this Trump tardation, and it's phenomenal. We probably could read it out loud during the show, but I don't know. I don't want to make a big deal about it, but it has him in some of his rage moments, and
So
really
it was
nice.
obviously written by someone who didn't like Trump.
I would think so. It characterizes him as like a little lump of something. I'm not sure. But the child's first book of Trump. It's hilarious. I'm going to have to read this. Good reading. Thank you. All right.
I comb my hair maybe once a day. All right. It will leave the room now. Good night.
No, you're not an it. What are you kidding me?
I'm a she.
You are a she. Yeah, that is a caricature based on an orange turd. That's correct. Thank you, Sarah. You're awesome. And enjoy dinner. I have it all. I think I turned the burners off, but there's a stir-fry rice dish, curry style, and the rest of that beef enchilada.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Yeah, we're dealing with a bad... I'm going to need a battery, too, for that. I forgot. Yeah, I hope it is. I certainly do. I'm a natural guy. People say, Dave, you're a natural. And I am. I'm just myself. And unlike many Americans, I don't have a calcified pineal gland, which has, for many people, turned into I don't know what's going on, What do I know, I know a guy who says to me that there's smarter people like you and me, Dave, in government, And I'm going, no, I don't think there is, really. I mean, when you think about it, I'm a little bit disturbed that we've got such moronic leaders. And I know John Kelly did his part to try to stop this reign of impeachment problems. I know that H.R. McMaster tried to warn everybody. I know that Rex Tillerson even warned people. You know that Rex Tillerson was told that he was fired on the toilet? He was on the toilet, yeah. And then I think John Kelly yelled to the door, yeah, you're fired. And Rex Tillerson had to, leave. And these people were, bigger than Donald Trump in the political world in many ways. And everyone says Donald Trump's not a politician. He is hurting our nation's policies, being not a politician. Now, I'm not a politician either, and I wouldn't want to hurt our nation's policies. I wouldn't want our foreign policy to be driven toward one particular country or another. But we're seeing Russia now dictate what we're doing overseas. Many people know about the big high-five, the high-five moment when the Saudis met with Trump and Vladimir Putin. I remember this. CNN had this coverage. It's pretty interesting. It shows Putin and MBS making a really close compact of sorts.
This high five between Mohammed bin Salman and Vladimir Putin. I want to see if we can just rerun those pictures again. There we go. You kind of got it again. We might just re-rack that and just do it again. Because if you can talk about these two men, Mohammed bin Salman has been accused by U.S. intelligence. Many believe that he was...
Yes, he was possibly involved in the Khashoggi death, and many Democrats think that that's the case. I don't necessarily believe that is the case. But I'm a little bit more concerned about Putin's connection to Prince MBS and the development of higher prices of oil. That's what's disturbing me. And I'm seeing prices go up right now during this crisis. A crisis with Iran automatically spikes the price of oil. So what Trump is doing right now is essentially claiming to be defending an embassy or something in attacking the worst known Iranian leader, which he did, Soleimani. But invariably he's just triggering war, which helps both the Russian economy and the Iranian economy. Both of them really need war to kind of boost things up, because Iran is suffering from an internal reaction to lack of funding from our economic sanctions. So now Iran is turning to Putin, and Putin is now engaging, and now this whole relationship will raise the price of oil. So that's a little bit concerning that Donald Trump is so close to Putin that we no longer have a viable autonomous bargaining policy towards Saudi Arabia. Okay? Yeah. We need to get a little bit tougher, because what we have right now is kind of a wormy guy named Donald Trump who likes to stand in the background, pretend he's nice. And he comes on really strong here, but overseas he's like Mr. Pansy, especially with those countries. Yeah. What do you want to talk about, Raz? I don't have a phone on me right now. Sorry, Raz. We get a lot of bad calls for people like you. Welcome, yes. We've got something going on here. We talked about Washington being a big distillery guy. We're going to find that out in a new George Washington premiere on History Channel, February 13th. Thanks for sharing. But I could care less. Yeah, I mean, I'm look at Barack Obama and his beer. I mean, did any of us ever get to try that beer? No. Obama didn't even bother to put a label on it and sell it as a White House gift item. I would have done that and helped get people, to give money back to the White House. I didn't not let you call in. It's just that you've been banned. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you can't reach me, you've been banned. Prospect of war pushes oil to a 7-month high. Yeah, there you go. Max has got the story. Yeah, I did kind of want to trace the high five. You'll notice that Donald Trump isn't back. They're kind of looking lost. Poor little Donnie, lost in the background, and the Saudi Arabian relations are not going too well. Oh, but Donnie's a good little puppet. Oh, yes. You've got him in the background. I just don't think he's really an active player for America. I think Donald Trump will do whatever Putin asks him to do. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Alex Trebek has rehearsed his final day on Jeopardy. It'll be a significant moment for me, he said. Wow.
Well, Kevin, Alex is a very close friend of ours. Now we have Alex and his wife, Jean, for the first time sitting down to talk about this devastating diagnosis.
Alex has been working through all of this. Have you ever looked at him and said, honey, take a break. You can miss a show.
Wow. That's going to be interesting. We'll watch that a little later tonight. Yeah, Alex is really a trooper, and we give him all the hope and prayers anybody can have. And he may want to try CBD oil now that he's living in California. I mean, come on, Alex. If you haven't tried CBD oil, what do you got to lose? I tell that to everybody who's facing cancerous situations. And I think that's a bit of advice. And maybe a little bit of marijuana, too. Yeah, he has a very pretty wife. Isn't she something?
Yes. I mean, so to my girlfriends, yes. But
and you got to admire his strength as a person. I've always liked Alex Trebek. That's your wife? Oh, I'm sorry. Was he dating your wife? Sorry to hear that. All right. Yeah. Hang on a second. Trying to find my... Oh, yes. For some reason, my safety goggles are not here. Yeah, I'm getting a little bright light from this. Huh. I think I hid them from myself here. Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, I kind of rely on those. Oh. Oh well. Yeah, I could always go with Ski Slope Dave. But I like the John Lennon look, personally. I think these are pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a little bit light on the on the sunglass opportunity here. I don't have any solidarity with Putin, Bengalitis. You know that. You're watching the show from Kong Island? Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was a Kong Island pirate, salty dog. Mr. Anderson. Yeah, I prefer Mr. Anderson too. I have the other glasses in there. But, yeah, I think I was just being really clever one day and said, hey, Dave, let's see if I can hide my glasses from me. And I think it worked. Ah, I found them. Yay. Okay, great. Whew, that was close. Okay, let's go to the bag person option. This is kind of nice. Yeah. Yeah, I got these from a bag person. It is a long story. He left them on the public bench the next day after I talked to the guy the first day. It was 10 minutes I talked to this guy, and he left them there. I feel kind of like a oneness with him. Like he was walking around here going through dumpsters with these glasses on. I thought, well, maybe I should wear these just to feel what it's like to... Dave, this is the alleged video that killed him. Okay, let's take a look. This is the strike against Soleimani. Ah, Soleimani. The Iranians must be very upset that he died, being he was a bad guy. I mean, bad isn't good. Bad in my perspective, though. Video shows moment U.S. drone strike on Major General Qasem Soleimani at Baghdad Airport. Whoa. That's a strike, all right. Isn't it amazing? Thank you for that clip. You're the bad guy. Duh. Yeah. That's the, I know. Okay, I don't want to go there because obviously, you know, we try to keep our music hour to the evenings. But isn't this a great shot of Alex Trebek? I mean, even this picture right here is classic. It's like, whoa. That could be in an art gallery. That's so cool. Yeah, it's just him pondering the future. Yeah, Billie Eilish. But I don't want to get too deep into talking about Billie Eilish tonight until later. Metanemesis. We play some of her music. Billie Eilish is quite a hit. She's got a unique style that appeals to a lot of young people right now. And as you know, I'm a pretty young person. I know. I've been getting younger every day. I don't understand it. I think it's the fruit enzyme spray I'm putting on. Yeah, and Clint Eastwood refuses to die. I know. No, Clint Eastwood is not 104 years old. Uh-oh, we got a call. Hold on.
But I know it's what feeds him. He loves doing Jeopardy. He has his own family over there. They're such a close-knit, beautiful group of people.
I'm not always the most pleasant person to be around.
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan. What can I do for you?
Experiencing severe pain or
What's that?
depression.
Alex and his wife Jean have been married for almost 3 decades. That's them courtside at an NBA game on Christmas.
Yeah. Right. Right, yeah. We're not putting troops in Iran. We've sent troops to Baghdad. We're just shoring up our position in Iraq. It's not a big deal. But this is the kind of upscaling of a war that Trump is good at, because he has to come up with a good diversion. Do you agree with the theory that he's coming up with a diversion here? Hey, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, what could they do? Iran could attack us. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, they could do a lot. You know, they've got proton weapons, laser beam weapons. Right.
Like they don't have leverage to say, oh, China, Russia, go attack the U.S., you know?
They don't? You don't think Russia could give them the support they need to attack us at any given time? I mean, Russia has Iran's back, and we're kind of like walking the line with Trump being so close to Russia. Why would we want to start a war with Iran right now? Why don't we work toward peace here? You know?
What's going on with this world,
I
man?
know. You're right.
I'm tired of it.
I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Thanks for calling in, Raz. Appreciate it.
Hey, shout out to...
Sorry, I missed. I lost your call. Sorry. Shout out to whoever. Hey, you know, we could easily decimate any of these countries, carpet bomb them. We could even do that against any country within the realm of superpowers as well. And they could do it to us. But what's the point? And I was wondering why Vladimir Putin was coming on so strong recently, saying he had a supersonic weapon, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, but I call...
Bullshit alert.
Yeah. I don't believe that their supersonic weapon goes that fast. They sped the camera up and made it go faster out of the chute. You could tell they just hit it on fast forward. It's like, Mr. Putin, very proud of new supersonic weapon. No problem. Give me a break. We have the Space Force. That's right. And the little known secret is it's been around since 1946. Trump just never knew it. Yeah. They don't tell Trump much of anything. They know he can't handle the intel from the Pentagon. And you guys in the Pentagon are laughing right now. I can see it. Mr. Ferguson, I see you laughing at me right now. Yeah, I even named the guy at the CIA who's got a troll on our show every night. Mr. Reynolds, how are you? Well, they're wondering how I know this stuff. That's what's really kind of freaking them out. But it's just, you know, I guess this stuff. Let's just call it guesswork, okay? Let's see, we've got... I know, well, there are a lot of bad people out there, but do we want to exacerbate the problem by starting to, attack their leaders? Because somebody had a squib and blew something up at our embassy. I mean, did anyone of our embassy employees get hurt? No, nothing happened. So we went out and killed their top leading commander. Okay, well, if he was doing bad things, that's definitely go after him. But isn't this more of a, you guessed it, diversion from the impeachment? Yeah. All right, moving on. I do have to touch down on the news here. So we're going to take a look. That dinner I made smells really good. I'm glad I made it. Oh, guess. And not only did he enjoy killing the man, Donald Trump is now going to rally evangelicals after Critical Christianity Today editorial. Yeah. So here he is. He's going to go start rallying Christians. What a better time to rally Christians than after you mortally kill somebody. Yeah. There you have it. This is the first time that Donald Trump has sanctioned the UAVs to take out anybody. He took out 31 innocent people 8 days into the White House when he was president. Everybody told Donald Trump, the military advisor says, don't go after this group. We're not 100% sure they're ISIS forces. And he authorized it anyway because he wanted to look tough. And one of those people was an 8-year-old little girl. Her life was snuffed out by Donald Trump. And then just about 2 or 3 months ago, there was another massive thing in Kabul. Kabul. Yeah. Kabul. The strike against innocent terrorists occurred. Attack. 2019. Kabul. 35 people killed. July 2019. More than 70 people injured by a drone attack. So it's not the first time Donald Trump has sanctioned drones and killed people. So yeah, what better time to celebrate in Jesus? Meet with the evangelicals and talk about God after you just killed somebody. Interesting. Trump's hesitance to fight scares you a bit? Well, considering he was a draft dodger, yeah. I mean, we know that Trump faked his bone spur injuries on his foot. His dad went to a podiatrist who, according to the daughters of the podiatrist that signed the script for Donald Trump to get out of the U.S. draft, they said that their dad had free rent from Fred Trump, Donald Trump's dad. So he never paid any rent. And the guy wrote scripts for anything the guy wanted. Oh, you want a little slip for little Donnie? No problem, Mr. Trump. Very nice of you to give us free rent. I appreciate it. Yeah, the daughters said so in an editorial about 6 months ago. Anyway, I don't want to make a big deal about the fact that he was a draft dodger. We've got bigger problems with this guy. Colluding with Russia, taking out oligarch money, suppressing information, obstructing of justice, now telling us Donald McGahn can't testify. It goes on and on with Trump. It's just a never-ending problem. He's abusing power. He's obstructing justice. He is violating our national security now, and he's putting us closer to war. How about that, huh? You really are proud to have Donald Trump as a president, aren't you? Oh, yeah. You're so proud to have voted for him. He's stopping the deep state, right? It's delusional. I know, it goes on and on. He hasn't fired anybody. He never prosecuted Hillary. He never went after Barack Obama's birth certificate. He never ever went after Elizabeth Warren. When I suggested he have Elizabeth get a DNA test, and he says, oh, I want Pocahontas to have a DNA test. That was my idea. I have proof of it online. All right, let's move on. Satellite images show just how bad the Australian forest fire is. The wildfire is burning out of control. I heard 1 million animals were killed, including little koala bears. Really tragic stuff going on in Australia. I saw pictures that were faked by ISS just a few minutes ago. And I don't believe those pictures, but I do believe there's a fire going on. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious something's happening. Oh, there it is. Yeah, boy, it looks like the coloring department at NASA really enjoyed doing this with their magic marker. Seriously? Okay, I believe there's a fire, but why did they have to fake it with that BS ISS thing that they do? That's the blue marble, everyone. That's not an actual photograph. Yeah, they do an excellent job, though, of faking it. Nice. All right. It looks realistic. It's photorealistic. Can't beat that. Can't beat that at all. All right, yeah, we've been doing this for about, 3 hours now. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. Yes, David. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to God. I just answered and pretended. Yeah, I think we understand I'm not communicating with the Lord. Thank you. But we are ready for a little bit of cool down moment here. Yeah, I need something. Pause. Yeah, I found an incredible cat bed at Rite Aid. Sarah and I were shopping at Rite Aid, and for $4, I got this really comfy cat bed. It was normally $20, so 75% off. And she's really enjoying it. She's enjoying the comfort, and she's an old kitty, so I'm really happy for her that she has a little place now. We were struggling to figure out a Christmas gift for my cat, or our cat. She's happy. She's a happy kitty. Satellite images show protests at U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Oh, goody. Yeah, it's hard to believe that this whole thing with war with Iran and the timing of it, it's so similar to what happened under Clinton that you have to wonder if this is all a big scam. Okay. Satellite images show the moment before. Right before the bombing. Okay. And then right after the bombing. Okay, yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say that's what happens when, they drop a bomb from up above from a UAV. Yeah, they've developed unmanned aerial vehicles that can actually do that. Hey, tonight's Freedom Friday, so we really should just talk about what freedom we have left.
A little bit more now on who General Soleimani was. The leader of Iran's elite Quds Force. He was one of the most powerful leaders in the Middle East from a military standpoint.
Well, on the face value, this seems...
Mastermind major military operations, bombings, and assassinations. He was designated a terrorist by the United States in 2005. Lucas Tomlinson digging in a little bit more on this. In a way, also a cult figure in Iran, almost like General Patton at one point in the United States. Lucas?
He sure was, Leland. Soleimani had made a number of trips to Baghdad in recent months, and this time the U.S. military was waiting. When he got off his plane from Lebanon, a U.S. drone was circling overhead. This is how the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff described Soleimani and his Iranian-backed proxies.
I know the total number of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that were killed by Iranian activities, and the number has been recently quoted as about 500. We weren't always able to attribute the casualties that we had to Iranian activity, although many times we suspected it was Iranian activity, even though we didn't necessarily have the forensics to support that.
In April 2019, the State Department said Soleimani and his fighters were responsible for killing 608 U.S. troops during the Iraq War from 2003 to 2011. That's 17% of all U.S. service members killed in action. Soleimani perfected the use of explosive foreign penetrators, which sliced through American armor with devastating effect. The shadowy Iranian commander wasn't just a threat to the Middle East. In 2011, he ordered the assassination of Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States outside a popular Georgetown restaurant right here in Washington. As Jennifer Griffin and I first reported back in July 2015, 10 days after the Iran nuclear deal, Soleimani made a trip to Moscow in violation of sanctions to meet Vladimir Putin and other top officials to plan Russia and Iran's deployments to Syria to shore up the Assad regime. But Soleimani and his Iranian-backed militiamen fought against ISIS over the past 5 years, making for a de facto alliance with the U.S. military. But now with ISIS largely defeated, Iran has launched 11 rocket attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq since late October, trying to push them out of the country once again. Abu Mohandes was also killed in the U.S. drone strike. Until last night, he was the leader of Kataib Hezbollah, the terrorist group that carried out that rocket attack in northern Iraq that killed an American defense contractor. 25 of his Iranian-backed proxies were killed by U.S. jets Sunday. He was photographed alongside other Shia militia leaders outside the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad earlier during the attacks on the compound. And also in graffiti on the compound, it said, "Soleimani is our leader." Officials here say not anymore. Mohandes had planned the 1983 bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait 2 months after the Beirut barracks bombing. And Iran's supreme leader has already named a replacement for Soleimani. We wait to see what his next steps will be, Leland.
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty provocative thing to take out a top Iranian general. And if this man is as bad as they say, I can understand the reason why the Pentagon advised it. But preemptive moves like this at a strange time when we're reaching impeachment isn't quite normal, and it happens to be exactly what happened when Bill Clinton was our president. So we have a newspaper article here that came in, New York Times, just to repeat myself, showing that Bill Clinton did the same damn thing. So Clinton launches an Iraq airstrike, citing military need to move swiftly. Yeah. So George W. did what he had to do at a later date, but Bill Clinton obviously used this as a cover, a diversion for his own impeachment hearing. So the timing is a little bit suspicious. They have these people under their radar at all times. Whether the situation was provoked by the Iranians at the embassy or whether that was a staged event, I'm beginning to wonder, because we all remember the green screen beheadings that in 2010 that the Pentagon paid lots of money for. $460 million was put into the Pentagon beheadings green screen productions. Now, notice those happened in 2010, and we all started hearing about a caliphate, and then that whole advertising campaign kicked in about the dangers of another rising jihad after we had already, been dealing with other jihads before. So it's just rehashing the same tool that our own government has used and been complicit in using, allegedly, by some people in creating and fomenting war. That's why we're always to blame around the world, and our country is to blame because we have been triggering what appears to be wars. Now, why would they start war? Why would they engage in attacks? Even Barack Obama couldn't explain why he kept upping troop strength at various times in Afghanistan. And clearly it's to make money. It turns out that all wars are bankers' wars. And right now, Iran needs money. Russia needs money. They're running out of money. The U.S. could sell some weapons. We could make some money. War is good money. So at the very heart of this discussion is not necessarily the destruction of Iran or any terrorists per se. It's money. Primary motivation here is expanding credit. That's what's going on. And they recently were discovered as this printing up quite a bit of money to help enhance our economy. And I talked about this a couple nights ago. Steve Mnuchin cannot explain the money that virtually came out of our country's budget to stimulate our economy recently. $1.5 trillion in $100 bills. Mnuchin can't really explain it. They say he explains it by saying it's in banks all around the world, but I don't know. The number of $100 bills in circulation now is greater than the number of $1 bills. Well, what I'm saying is they're printing up more money and they want to fund our economy by doing so, but at the same time, they're going to come up with a reason to print up more money now. So what better than to start a war with Iran, right? The very trigger point of what we all fear the most, World War III. Exactly what people claim that Trump the puppet would do. The big move to push our country into a conflict with other countries using initially conventional weapons and then gradually upping to nuclear weapons. And Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin have worked this deal out of the side that they both want to create more intercontinental ballistic missiles and tactical nuclear weapons. They haven't instigated an INF treaty, an intermediate nuclear force treaty. Instead, these guys talk about we're both going to build up weapons. So that's all about making more money. And that's my take on things, whether you believe it or not. I do believe there are some bad people who've done some bad things to our military, and I certainly understand the reason why a strike would have been done. But is this more of a diversion, or is this a real event that we really need to go down? Do we really need to start World War III so that Donald Trump can get away with colluding with Russia? Because that's what it seems like he's trying to do.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen, would be an outrage.
Video footage of then private citizen Donald Trump warning in 2011 that our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate resurfaced Thursday night after the U.S. assassinated Iran's top military leader and 6 others in a drone strike in Baghdad, sparking fears of a catastrophic regional and possibly global conflict. Trump, of course, was referring to former President Barack Obama, who he called weak and ineffective and accused of attempting to start a war with Iran to boost his re-election chances.
Well, we'll play more of that later tonight. Thank you very much. I am appreciative of your robotic voice. I appreciate your answers.
Hello, welcome to the show. I am your host, David. I will be answering your questions in chat. Hello, guest 403. If the USA needs more cash, let the Fed show you the gold you don't have. Good point. I take it you're from a foreign country, guest 403. We haven't, as citizens, we haven't seen the gold at Fort Knox. I will admit that. But I think that would be an excellent opportunity for the cameras at C-SPAN to go in and look at all the gold that we have, you know, and show you people that we are backing our country with gold. Wouldn't that be great? I'd love to do that. But I don't have the ability or the authority to do that. You're in the UK, yes. Now, I do believe that our country has caches of gold that have been hidden from the American people even. Yes. And I don't believe that we are short on gold. I'm sure we are back to the hilt. Have you ever heard of the legend of Cibola? Any of you, really? Cibola, yes, the legend of Cibola. It is a very ancient legend that alleges that the large cache of gold that Montezuma had is somewhere buried in the United States. Yes. I'm sure you've been on gold expeditions, mining and gold panning. We actually could very well have acquired Cibola's gold. At one point, an excavator in an area in New Mexico found gold bars, and he pulled them out and he stored about 16 of them in an area away that his family actually confirmed he had them. And then the government got a hold of this information and they shut the entire mountain down. I'm not going to tell you where, but there could very well be a larger cache of gold, so don't worry. I'm telling you, I think we'll have plenty of gold. It's not a problem. We have all that money at the World Bank that we acquired from China, or rather Japan and Germany. Let's not forget that. We're backed. We're heavily backed. The problem is our country appears to be in debt because we're under the corporate heading of the United States. I believe that we can shift gears at some point in the future and begin redeveloping the United States of America Corporation, which has been in bankruptcy since March 9th, 1933, meaning we could even get back to our original assets. So I don't really think we're that weak of a nation economically like some people would like to think. There are people that claim, oh, Russia and China, they're working to destroy the US-backed dollar. Hardly. The BRIC nations can barely come up with $160 billion to back any kind of a financial move, whereas our dollar is backed by trillions of dollars and continues to be the world standard and will for perhaps hundreds of years to come. The reason is a moving object wants to remain stable. And when people are investing, they don't want to go jump ship with their money. And one of the reasons why they like America is because of that fact. It's a stable place for investment. In fact, when I become president, I hope the flat tax of 10% becomes a big opening for our country to offer new opportunities for people around the world to invest here. Tax-free up to $50,000. If we can get that to pass, it'll be a big move for a lot of investors overseas. Why are you so doomy? You're claiming the world's going to end February 2nd, 2020? Gosh, you live in fear, huh? I'm not a trap shooter by trade, but I'm here to represent people who are free and willing to go out and do trap shooting with their rifle and their shotgun. Thank you for asking. Hey, you know, if you've got the video of Donald Trump threatening to prosecute Hillary, I want to see it. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't think I'd say this, but I'm going to say it. And I hate to say it, but if I win, I am going to instruct my Attorney General to get a special prosecutor to look into your situation, because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it. And we're going to have a special prosecutor. When I speak, I go out and speak. The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this, where emails and you get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. and then you acid wash them or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process.
Wow. What's the sniffling going on, you know? Not only is he claiming he's going to prosecute Hillary, he never did. And you Trump supporters just won't even answer that. But he's sniffling a lot. Is that like, was he had a cold or something? Poor Donald. He had a little cold. Oh, you little cold. He had a flu virus or something, yeah. And he never did a damn thing. Good point, don't worry, be happy. I know a lot of people who are no longer Republicans who feel that way about him. He basically went back on his word regarding gun control, too. Now embraces red flag laws. From Moscow Mitch. I mean, Trump dropped off the ledge of transparency when he started hiding everything. I mean, everything, yeah. Yeah, he attacks the witnesses who are, confirming that he did quid pro quo. There we go. He attacks witnesses. During the entire impeachment hearing, he attacked witnesses. It was terrible. He never recorded any of his tapes with Putin. And he didn't really show his IRS tax returns, did he? Yeah, so I guess he's kind of hiding. He definitely didn't prosecute Hillary.
So we're going to get a special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been, their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done. And I'll tell you what.
Wow. So he never prosecuted, and he lied about that. And Don't Worry, Be Happy was making a good point. Thank you, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Yeah, so he hasn't really been very transparent, and we're looking at kind of a problem there. I know. Okay, so we're going to remove this from the screen because I know a lot of you Trump-tards don't really want to see this stuff. Whenever a person attacks witnesses, they're always shooting the messenger, right? And then no tapes of Putin. That was foolish. He should have recorded all his conversations with Putin if he didn't want us to think he was guilty of colluding with Russia. And no IRS tax returns, which would probably reveal all those oligarchs that funded his business for 15 years. All right, I'm back. Thank you. I have to be nice and happy. I've been working on being more like Mr. Rogers. People say, Dave, you sound more like Mr. Rogers than Tom Hanks in the movie. And I'm going, I know, because I'm mind melding with him. I feel his strength in me. I feel, and it's through Sarah. She's a mentor. Her whole life was mentored by Mr. Rogers.
Cold-hearted orb that rules the night, removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray and yellow white. But we decide which is right and which is an illusion.
Moody Blues. Yeah, had a little flashback there from the 60s. Sorry. Face. Okay, we were working on words. The human face. Facial appearance, expression. Gotcha. All right. Convicted robber is charged in Oakland laptop theft homicide. This is not good. Oh, man. Convicted robbers are charged in a homicide and a theft, man. This is not good. NBC Bay Area, these two guys may have done some bad things. They were arraigned Friday on charges stemming from their roles in the death of a man who died from injuries he suffered while he was trying to get back his laptop computer. Wow, which was stolen Tuesday while he worked in a coffee shop. So some guy ran these guys down trying to get his laptop back and ended up dying, allegedly. And as deputies escorted Reed out of the court, he shouted, "I love you," to his sister Shaquila, who attended the brief hearing with another female family member. All right, well, thank you for sharing. Best not to go after your laptop, folks. Seriously, it's not smart to do that. Yeah, just, hey, laptop gone, next, move on. Don't go try to run it down and run into somebody with a gun. Alright? That's what I'm talking about. Now, Russia deepens the support of Iran on financial matters, and that's making me wonder, here we have Tehran Times. The connection between Vladimir Putin and Iran is very strong, and what is most concerning is why America is now striking on Iran while Vladimir Putin has good relations with Mr. Trump. That's okay. So Russia deepens support of Iran on financial matters. So this is a huge thing. Russia is really giving Iran support through this process. A former Marine Corps infantry officer and CIA spy, as well as an activist, who contributes regularly to Tehran Times. Russia informs Iran of its views about FATF. While it deals with measures against money laundering, it's part of the new alternative financial system in which China and Russia and Iran are easily creating a post-Western economic financial system. Right, Iran has now appeared to India as a major player going into 2020. Yeah, these are the people, the BRIC nations, that want to really uproot our dollar. But why would Trump play into their hand? You know, why would he be lured into their hand by... I mean, if this was a strike by Iranian-backed militiamen on the embassy, and we did definitely take out Soleimani, what now can we do? I mean, this is like we're ramping this up. Let's talk about it. What do you say? Let's have a chat. Now, we don't want to work out a treaty like Barack Obama did, a $155 billion loss on our part. But we don't want to impose economic sanctions like Trump is doing necessarily, unless we really know this is an expansion of the war. If Iran treads very lightly here, maybe we could negotiate some peace. It's possible. But not with Trump. More than likely, he's going to still call the Ayatollah Khamenei and all of the people within the Rouhani and everyone else, all these people he's going to call names and start acting out and tweeting about them and going, these are all very bad people. I'm going to strike everybody over there. We're going to start attacking the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, can you imagine how screwed up that could get? There are people in Trump's camp that actually want to do a ground strike on Hormuz. It's like, why? Why would we do that? I can't confirm or deny that, but I've read it on military blogs. Why would we want to do that? 84 million people living in Iran. Why are we attacking a hornet's nest? Exactly. Could anyone come up with an answer? Maybe Vladimir Putin ordered this strike to create tension to build economies of both Iran, Russia, and America. Lawmakers are reacting to the killing of the Iranian general. Let's take a look and see what Charles Schumer is saying. There were stark differences in the reactions. From members of Congress to the Pentagon orders missile strike that killed Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani. Because Jimmy Carter is the reason Iran is the bully it's now, David? You think that Jimmy Carter was too weak and they attacked us during that time period because he was just a smiling farmer from Plains, Georgia?
I'll definitely think that it could be racism against Obama.
There were stark differences, yes. Some lawmakers praised the move as necessary and decisive action in the wake of recent violence in the region. Others condemned the move, saying Donald Trump overstepped his authority in bypassing congressional approval for the strike. Yeah, exactly. Many reports from left-rated outlets focused on criticisms of the decision from prominent impeachment figures such as Pelosi and Adam Schiff, who each said that Trump should have sought congressional guidance before ordering the strike. Interesting. Well, he hasn't sought guidance before. Why would he do it now? Many right-rated sources concentrated reporting on Representative Ilhan Omar's reaction, which questioned Trump's decision to assassinate a foreign official. Oh, right, like we should quote Ilhan Omar, who gets money from Qatar to get elected. which, by the way, is a gross federal election violation, and she needs to be charged with that, but Trump won't charge her, it seems. Wow, so giving her a voice in this matter is almost absurd. But I guess she has a voice. She's a legislator. Nobody's fired her yet. Donald, if you're listening, I want you to fire Elizabeth Warren for claiming she's a Cherokee Indian, Ilhan Omar for getting Qatar funds for her re-election, and as well as marrying her brother to make him a U.S. citizen, and fire Hillary Clinton, or just prosecute her like you said you were going to do. Okay, Donald? All right. That would make a lot of Republicans. Wouldn't you guys be happy, you Republicans? And press 1. And I won't punish you for being Republican. But press 1 if you really want to see Hillary prosecuted. I'm going to do it. You might as well feel comfortable doing that. You still care? Oh, I'm sorry. You're too impressed with Donald Trump to bother prosecuting Hillary now. Oh, you're already happy she's elected. Or he was elected, and you don't want to make any waves now. Got it. Psycho behavior standing strong. Right on, man. Click. Jeffrey Epstein, 60 Minutes. We now go to the Jeffrey Epstein story from 60 Minutes. New details about Epstein's death have been revealed. Officers moved the body. Inmates started eerie chant. That's weird. And Epstein pranced outside and went to his resort, Little St. James Island, where he lives underground today. That's what I want to read. But Epstein didn't kill himself, former Navy SEAL blurts out during an unrelated segment. Go ahead.
New information about the jail cell death of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The wealthy financier was accused of sexually abusing dozens of underage girls. The 66-year-old was connected to many rich and powerful people, and his death left a lot of unanswered questions. 60 Minutes correspondent Sharon Alfonsi has investigated Epstein's death for 5 months and reveals what happened in the moments after his body was found.
Guards found Epstein at approximately 6:33 a.m., and sources say one of them could be overheard saying, "Breathe, Epstein, breathe." Forensic pathologist Dr. Michael Bodden, who observed the autopsy for the Epstein family, believes that Jeffrey Epstein died around 4:30 that morning, 2 hours earlier.
The guards say they came in at 6:30. They found him. They call emergency services. They tried to do CPR with him, but he's dead. But rather than leave the body there, they take the body to an emergency room.
Yeah.
Is that normal protocol?
No, that's not normal protocol. The EMS people normally, and especially in jail, should not move a dead body.
He's right. Bureau of Prison Protocol mandates a suicide scene should be treated with the same level of protection as any crime scene in which a death has occurred.
Sharon Alfonsi is with us now. Sharon, welcome. What did the prison guards do with Jeffrey Epstein's body?
So immediately after they discovered him, they took him to the hospital. They were trying to do CPR on him. About an hour after he got to the hospital, they declared him officially dead, about 7:30, and then he was taken to the morgue where they did the autopsy the next day.
What do we know about what was found in Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell?
So it's interesting. You would think that it would be sparse, right? This is a federal prison, high security. What we have learned through our reporting is that there was multiple sheets in there, lots of bedding, an electrical cord.
No, sheet. Lots of bedding, an electrical cord? Come on. This is ridiculous. This needs to be a full-bore grand jury investigation. My goodness. Why hasn't the Senate or House done anything? Oh, that's right. They're busy prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein's close friend, Donald Trump. Okay, sorry. But yeah, this would be a grand jury investigation if it really was taken seriously. Go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal. If you want to buy a car, go see Cal. Oh, you got the Cal, this is the Cal University theme song. Oh, okay. Big difference. Okay, thank you. But yeah, that would be a deep investigation if you ask me. I can't understand who put the fix in. Well, the people that protect him are Mossad. Epstein is a Mossad agent. And according to our labor secretary, who was interviewed publicly, former labor secretary Acosta, he was told that to stand down in the first prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein in 2007. Yeah. And in the process, it's been no low charges against Epstein. Hardly any charges were levied. He only served 13 months in jail for trafficking like over 35 girls, children, prostitutes. Yeah. So we're seeing very strange things about cover-up. When he was told he was an intelligence, he was an asset, a Mossad asset, everybody went, oh yeah, that explains it all. But our government hasn't done anything. So they're covering for him. So wherever Jeffrey Epstein is now, and I'm sure he's alive, there's no question about it in my mind. I looked at his autopsy result or picture that apparently only one person okayed and agreed with, and it didn't even look like him. He was seen 20 days later here on Little St. James Island. Yep. 20 days later. I have a picture of him at the autopsy, which is pretty revealing. I played it for you many times before, but here it is. The only person who identified Jeffrey Epstein was his brother Mark, and there was no DNA test to verify his identity. And you can clearly see his nose is not the same nose, and his ear is not the same ear. Here, let me spin it around for you so you can look at it closely. Yeah, see that? The guy who died at the top of the page has a hook nose, and the guy who Epstein was does not. This portion is more straight, like mine, the real Epstein. And you look at the ear, it's not even him. So something's really fishy here, and our government is complicit in covering this up. Anybody could see that. It doesn't take a genius to realize that's a total lie coming out of NYPD. And this picture from Rusty Shackelford's drone over at Little St. James Island, just, 20 days after he died, shows you that he's wearing his signature shirt, the light blue shirt that he wore with Donald Trump in 1992. This picture was taken 2 years before Donald Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl. And she ended up dropping the charges and then refiling in 2016 and then dropping the charges again because she said that Trump had threatened to kill her. We got some information about the Iranian leader assassination possibly being not necessarily him. Yeah. So thank you, Scissor Fight, for that information stream.
Yeah, all right, 153 News. We're going to do this really quick because they're hoaxing the shit out of you again. All right, Trump and his bullshit.
Okay, in deference to this 6-minute video we'll play later tonight, I'm not going to play it right now, but I'll play it in the evening. They're asking questions about the validity of the death of Soleimani. Yeah, so we'll see if that's been verified. I don't even have any Iranian sources online that we can verify the death. Would they admit that their general has been killed, or would they say this is propaganda? Do we have confirmation from Tehran? I don't know of any information stream that would verify it from the Iranian perspective. And now there's more proof of a potential use of a directed energy weapon in Australia. Thank you, Scissor Fight, for that information. Appreciate it.
I'm in a street called the Quarterdeck, and this will show you just the sort of devastation of how many houses have been lost here in this area. Particularly when you look at this street, there is house after house that was hit by the flames and totally destroyed. Some of 87 houses that have been destroyed here. And some of the families did manage to get out safely. No one was injured, at least in this street anyway. But you can see why they had to leave in a hurry. This all happened in a matter of minutes, which
Wow. Okay, this all happened in a matter of minutes, folks. Check this out. This is the same kind of devastation that we saw in California.
Gave very little time for those who wanted to escape the flames, because we've already heard that some decided to stay and then realised it was just simply too late to defend, and so they had to jump into the lake. But these sort of houses, the lake is several hundred metres from here down the hills. There would have been no chance of escaping. The gentleman who lived here, he makes sculptures for a living, and sadly, not only has he lost his house, but many of his wonderful artworks have gone as well. Have a look at this car, though, because not only has the car been destroyed, but those silvery materials spilling on the ground is part of the engine block and part of the wheel housing. That would mean temperatures reach several hundred degrees in order for that to melt.
Close to 3,000 degrees, actually in some cases 1,700 degrees to melt alloyed wheels. More than your fire safes in your house, folks. Hey, Sarah's here. She's going to take over for a while. Yeah, melted engine blocks. Yeah, we're talking 2,000-3,000 degree temperatures. Let's listen.
A good show on Netflix. I think I watched before. I haven't, not recently, but in the past, called Fire Chasers.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yep, see that? Let me play a little bit more of this clip.
It's pretty extraordinary. It shows you the intensity of the flames, which is why when you think about staying and defending, you've got to consider whether you can defend against heat that could do something like this. This is just one street in this neighbourhood. It's just one street in this part of the south coast of New South Wales. Consider what's happening in Gippsland as well, where there's been so much of this sort of destruction. The message I'm also getting from locals, though, is to not only are they starting to recover, they're tired, they want to get more help, they need more support here, but they also are wary because they know that in the weekend coming up, conditions, we're told, may not just be as bad as they were on New Year's Eve, they could actually be worse, which is why already one man we spoke to this morning who stayed and defended his home on New Year's Eve, he's packing up and getting ready to leave. He might be one of many who decide to do that day once the main road up here to the Princes Highway is reopened, which locals are begging for today, of all days, because really there's only a tiny window between now and Saturday when temperatures will go above 30 or 40 degrees again.
All right, that's about it from Australia. It looks very much like it could have been artificially started. And we see all these fires starting throughout California as well. Very suspicious. 300 fires started within a 24-hour period in California this past year. And they even had the electricity shut off in most of these areas. And makes you wonder if there's some sort of a plan to create permanent land opportunities regardless of who lives there. Is this a way of grabbing land, burning people out? That's my question. Yeah, there's seen a lot of trees burned from the inside out in these situations, which looks very much like it could have been a directed energy weapon. It fits the category completely.
This needs a new battery.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a new battery for that one. I'll be right back. Thank you.
So I have to, go into is, I'll just have to wait till tomorrow to do that. Vaccine inserts.
Okay, this should be. Thank you.
What do you think? Okay, chat room celebrity. I think I'm gonna purge your statements. Then you can start having better conversations. Yeah, actually in that video I was talking about I think it was called Fire Chasers on Netflix. There was only like 4 episodes. I think that was it. But there might have been another one on Netflix. But it was the fire season of 2016. And they talked about melted engine blocks in that show as well. And and no, I don't think that the thing is that I don't think it's necessarily all the insides of the engine block. It's also the materials be around the engine block. But it does show this one artist. He says he goes to different places and actually picks up liquid melted metal that looks like that. But we'll say, yeah. Hello clicked up. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm just not a huge believer in directed energy weapons. I do believe in the forest fires, but I guess I should just count my blessings that forest fires aren't happening in my area. Yet. Hopefully they never will. Oh, so you're Xenu, huh? Or are you just joining Xenu's party, big Twitter? I wonder, yeah, it was, I wonder if I can research that. Yeah, California's campfire burned hot enough to melt aluminum. Yeah, I'm gonna purge you too as well. Although the primary metal in most cars is steel, which does need to reach 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit or hotter. But most of the other materials were burned. Aluminum can melt at 1,200 degrees. And magnesium could burn. Thanks. Well, I don't like you using your use of certain words. The N-word specifically, you and Cal Worthington. Both using that word. So, I don't think I'm the one on thin ice. Reptoid says every car fire melts the aluminum. And then if I would say if it gets into the gas, then it would melt other things as well. Good question. It looks like someone you knew. Hello, someone named Aaron. Sorry, I didn't. Sorry, I wasn't watching this chat because David sometimes doesn't leave it on Twitch chat, so then I don't watch it. Party, yes. Cool Rock Party. Is this live? The stream is freezing though, is not working well. Thank you. So you're trying to give a video release of suspects in a potential gang-related shooting. All right, I'll show your video, or thank you. You want us to show a video just in case people are watching in your area. Got it. I can do that. Thank you for using the word thugs rather than other words. All right, so this is in from Mad Dog, aka G. Gordon Liddy, I think. I think that's their aliases. Let me look at this. No, that's not it. Let me remove. David does this with his desktop regions. These are the videos of the suspects in a fatal shooting were released. This was This was in Graniteville. They released that video and additional information on three wanted people in Aiken County. So if you're in Aiken County and you see those people, they killed a young mom and her son. It was in Graniteville. Shots fired call Tuesday night. The woman was only 26. She was shot at least once. She was unresponsive. And she had a 1-year-old son named Elijah who was injured. And he also died. They both died. The three suspects involved in this investigation are described as 3 black males, according to news released by the sheriff's office. They're wearing masks, it looks like. Oh, they slowed down the video. I'll show that one more time so you guys can, if you know these people, you need to report them. 26-year-old mother and her 1-year-old son were killed. The suspects appear to be between 5'7" and 5'11" in height, according to the news release. One suspect is wearing a dark colored jacket with a gray hooded sweatshirt and dark pants. The second suspect was wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, black sweatpants with a red stripe. The third suspect was wearing a dark colored jacket with a hood and dark blue pants. They do believe that this was gang related and the victims were not the intended targets. Of course, the suspects should be considered armed and dangerous. They ask citizens to not approach the suspects, to alert law enforcement if you have any information in this regarding this. And there's a GoFundMe for the mom's child and family. The mom was named Alicia Jackson and her son, Elijah. 899 says usually males. Yeah. I think people are people, Big Twitter. What do you think? I can't play your chicken attack video, I'm sorry. Not at this time. I can save it to play later. There are many black people who have never been to Africa. So claiming that you think they should go back to a place they've never been, that makes no sense at all. At all. It's like saying anyone that's Caucasian should go back to Europe, even if you've never been to Europe. I mean, I've never been to Europe. Not necessarily. No, I totally disagree with you. If you think that, then the only people that should be living in the North American continent are Aborigine people who were originally here. I definitely disagree with you completely. I think that we in America should be tolerant of everyone's individual stories, and we should accept people. All people. Granted, do I believe that we should have open borders? You didn't ask that, but no, I don't necessarily believe in that. However, I will say yeah, it's okay for people to be born. Clicked up. I mean, saying it's okay for people to be a certain skin color, that's just ridiculous. Of course it's okay for people to be any skin color that they want, that they're born as. I mean, people are people. This is from Augusta Crime. Let's see if I have it. This is a Beach Island man that's wanted for questioning. In that video I just did. There are some people, like, if you don't mow your own lawn, then they'll come and mow your lawn and charge you a fee. But no, we don't require people to be a certain skin color in this area. That's to help the parents of the victims. I am in a committed relationship with David. So, no, I won't be dating. I'm myself. My name's Sarah. And no, I'm not ashamed to be born. Yeah. Sometimes I have a pungent smell to me, too. I know you think so. I weren't in a committed relationship with Dave. I know. When was the last time I went 2 weeks without a shower? Sometimes I do. I am a human being. Good evening, Stealth Mode. How are you? Goodness. I don't think so. Clicked up. I just think sometimes when someone farts, they just had to release some gas. They probably ate the wrong thing, or maybe they ate the right thing. I'm glad I had you laughing. Oh my goodness. Really? Well, then maybe he's not really tolerating anything. No, I don't need your soap. I'll go take a shower after I talk to you all. I mean, I just... Speak your truth. Took 3,000 years for your people to become the great. What are you talking about? Our people. You're like saying there's our and them. People are people. I completely disagree. I don't think certain people are better because of this color of their skin that they happen to be born into. That's completely absurd. Oh, great. Stupid. The Bell Curve is a ridiculous book. Ridiculous. You know, the thing about the bell curve and the thing about intelligence quotients, the intelligence tests were, no, you shouldn't be ashamed that you're born a certain color. You're just born a certain color. There shouldn't be shame about the way you were born. I mean, I don't think I can't change the color of my skin. No, intelligence is based on, it is not genetic. That, and the entire intelligence test, you could be given another test is based on the vocabulary that you're exposed to, primarily. Huh. Yeah, I agree. Everyone should take a shower after being on Vaughn Live. Exactly. Yeah, animals. Well, I guess the animals sometimes care about color. The men are the ones that are born with pretty feathers. Bred by humans for certain traits. You say dogs are bred for certain traits. Yeah, by humans. That humans want to look at certain dogs with certain traits. Are people are from the animal kingdom. People are people. And I think we need to practice more tolerance and more acceptance of people from various backgrounds in our country. Yeah, I agree with you, Scissor Fight. Everyone bleeds in the color red. But everyone can be accepted. You say everyone cannot get a trophy. Everyone can be accepted for the way that they are. And I suppose I should accept you the way you are. You know, we can talk about race. I think maybe the issue is that people don't talk about race. But I think that, I definitely think an issue is that people shouldn't say that they're better than someone because of their race.
You covered. Thank you. I just made enough coffee. That has to be put away. That's about it. Not right now. In about 10 minutes.
I hate tea tree oil.
I hate tea tree oil too. I agree, and I hate the smell of it. But it's supposedly really curative for skin funguses and things.
Well, there was a discussion that came in the room that somebody said, anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of this happening, discussion, and like somebody said, oh, some people don't smell good or something. I said, I don't smell good after if I haven't showered for 2 weeks, and I don't smell good if I release gas. I mean, I just really feel like this there's a lot of people, there's some people that come into your room that are really
derogatory toward women and men.
Well, derogatory toward people because of their race.
Oh, wow.
Because of their gender. Gosh. I really don't like that.
Yeah. Well, these are trolls that simply want to pick on the stupidest issues. The stupidest issues. Really.
I really think that we should accept people, and I know that I'm not accepting people for them being judgmental. I really do. I know that's what I don't know. It's very difficult to not judge people when they're judgmental.
Yeah, we're not tolerant of people who are intolerant, which makes us intolerant of people who are intolerant. So it's kind of we just don't like that level of racist behavior here. Yeah,
All
we're
right.
not moving
Anyway,
in a
I'm gonna
positive
go take a
direction.
shower.
Thank you. Yeah, enjoy cleaning and enjoy.
But first, I'm going to finish watching my show.
Yeah, I'm running a wash right now, so you may want to let the heat and the hot water and all that. Thank you, Sarah, and I'm sorry that this has happened to you. These people.
No, I feel like, I know that sometimes I don't talk about racial issues, and I really think that I just want to say that no one is better than anyone based on the color of their skin, and that it's high time that we started accepting everyone and we start appreciating everyone.
Yeah, we really should. The operative word is should, and I think I'd like to make it happen, but I got to get these people to understand that people are not by nature bad because of their color of their skin. White people aren't bad because they're entitled per se. Everybody's got blood that's red. That's right. They were attacking people based on color. I feel like I'm a victim of discrimination against white people, as you know. But characterizing myself as a victim is really kind of tragic in and of itself. So I'd like to just say, if we could just not use what has happened to us in the past against people in the future, that would be a big step in the right direction. Because I know a lot of black people look at white people and go, man, y'all white cracker, you all entitled. And we're not now. And I got to tell you, I don't look at black people as though they're criminals. I don't. Even though I've been in various situations with guns held to my head and threats against my life, I don't hold that against an entire race of people. That's right. So we have to start looking forward to the future, okay? Yeah. Integration can happen, but it can't be. Let's continue the race discussion all night long. Okay, let's drop the whole race discussion. Let's take on freedom issues. Like, we're all going to be susceptible to cyber terrorism in our life. Theoretically, 1 in 5 people will have their identity theft occur in America. Our government can't possibly go down the road of what the Chinese have done with social credit systems being a hierarchy and discriminating against people. You can't even get a trip out of Beijing on a plane unless you have a good social credit score, which is absurd. This is about freedom, and that's what America stands for, the rights of people to behave openly different than everyone else and use freedom of speech, and your right to bear arms are key to building our nation strong. Building an America that is concurrent with its core freedoms, not like the Democrats who want to get rid of everything free-wise. Yeah, they just want to turn us all into a bunch of collectivists and communists, and that's not something I support. People said, Dave, do you allow communists in a room? No, I really don't want communists in here. Oh, Ocasio and Bernie can leave. But I also like the fact that, people are willing to look at the ideas of socialism and wonder, well, maybe we do need to bust some monopolies. As long as we don't take away our personal property or our privacy, maybe some monopolies really need to be busted, like Google. Yeah. What are you saying, Johnny? You're sick. You're a sick puppy, Johnny. Johnny would be one of those guys down at the Pussycat Theater right now if it wasn't on his home computer in his bedroom. Yeah, we used to see pervs like you a long time ago, Johnny. You'd all hang out at the Pussycat Theater. We're not encouraging racial tension here, as you know. Consider this a interracial rap session, where I am the rapper. We go hip hop to hippity to hippity hip hip to hop. You don't stop rocking till the band stops playing. Sing up chuck the boogie to the band to the boogie to be. We go hee bop roo bop Scooby Doo. Guess what, America? I love you. You've entered Dave's world now. The world of interracial freedom and justice. Yeah, the ideal world that doesn't exist in reality. I'd like to make it happen, but back in the 60s, I was one of those people that believed in peace, love, and understanding. And for me, it was an assumption I wasn't going to be prejudiced against black people, Hispanics, Asians, or even white people. I assumed it. And then I realized, oh my gosh, the Democrats want to force the issue and make hate laws. Excuse me. We are now in freedom of speech land, Democrats. You can't take that away unless you got a 3/4 majority. Good luck getting that. Sounds like Charlie. Charlie who? That's a serious word, man. In the jungle, man. What you talking about, Charlie? Thank you. Look into that guy. That guy is apparently gang stalked us for some time, Sparkle Horse. Charles Manson. I don't sound a bit like Charles Manson. Wow. That's a real insult. Here I'm a nice person and you compare me to a mass murderer. Nice. Thanks. You're a bad man. You're a very bad man. It's the Pussycat Theater. You never heard about it? Yeah, back in the day before porn, which you live on every day, there was a Pussycat Theater. It was, the guys used to go there to look at naked pictures. He did. Charles Manson admitted he had personally been responsible for 7 deaths. I used to say 5, but he upped it. Why would I? He told his psychiatrist that. There are a lot of people who are seeking psychiatric counsel. And Charles Manson had on his arrest requirement, he had to actually meet with a psychiatric professional, in which he had to tell him all of his secrets, which were very important to him, but amounted to a waste of time. He was never reformed. Oh my gosh, we got word from North Korea, everyone. Is it North Korea? It's Chinese, sorry. Difficult times, there is no democracy at home. We need David help. Ask leaders to change the people's system. Trump is bad. Hard work all day, terrible work. A little rice helps us. Thank you, Big Twitter. We just got your word, Big Twitter. They're really in bad shape in China. And Trump, if he goes into negotiations, trade negotiations with China, he really needs to start thinking about human rights. You know? She doesn't go 2 weeks without a shower. If she has to take a shower, she wants to take a shower. I don't tell her when and where she takes a shower. Why do you care about the Chinese people? Well, your trade depends on it. The farmers, they got screwed out of $17 billion worth of sales to China of sorghum and soybeans. I would think you would care about China when your own American farmers are hurting because of Trump's decisions. Don, please. Your obsession with sex is absurd. Thank you. Well, thank you for telling me all about that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Big Twitter. Question all, postulate. And postulate. Are you sure you're not prostrate? Bend over for everyone? Be aware and bend over for everyone? You were in love with a Chinese woman? Well, that's cool. The American farmers are crying for more profit, but the Democrats and Republicans don't hear it. The Iowa farmers would love to have hemp growing on their backup crops, so it helps purify the soil and bring nitrogen back to a very depleted soil. Once I legalize marijuana, everything will be much better. Meanwhile, you got Trump being a relative idiot, not realizing the benefits of legal marijuana. Instead, he spends all his time eating cheeseburgers. Yes, this is a typical diet for Donald Trump. We do not forget Larry. He's on cue right now.
Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack.
Okay. That fulfills crackhead. It helps a lot of Republicans kind of get a kick out of that. Trump doesn't run the routine about Barack Obama being from Kenya anymore. He gave that up. Yeah, Trump didn't want to fight for any of your rights. He didn't even bother prosecuting Obama, Hillary, Warren, Omar. Sounds like the Knights of Arabia or something. I feel like I'm in the Knights of Arabia. Obama, Warren, Hillary, Omar. Big Twitter has something else to say. Let's take a look. Hey, we listen to you guys. If you have a hard enough time getting in here, it is very difficult to get into this show from outside of your VPN. Chinese people want to be friends with Americans. World leaders do not cooperate for the benefit of the people. The system is damaged. Putin, Trump, Xi Jinping is a doll. Yeah, he's just a doll. He's just like a panda bear. Trump doesn't use fruit enzyme spray at all. No, you're out of here. I've been using it for years. I'm the one who introduced this to the American people. How many, I don't have any Coca-Cola videos at all. I'm not a collector. Only young Hong Kongers like us. I know. Well, they like Mike Pence because he's trying to fight for Hong Kong. But Mike Pence is, I actually like what he's doing. He's trying to come out strong, but you got to give a little wiggle room for negotiations with people. I would like to get, certain standards built into the trade talks with China regarding human rights, the organ harvesting of people. Yeah, the Falun Gong people have been held against their will, and many of them have been harvested of organs, meaning they were killed, tortured. That's not appropriate. That's not something we want to allow with trading partners. If they want First Nation trading status to remain, they had better at least admit that there's a problem. And we'll admit we have a problem too in our prisons. I'm sure a lot of people are having their organs harvested right now in the prison. Okay, bring him up. We got another kidney coming up here. When's he due for the death penalty? Let's make it move along. What do you say, huh? I'm not liking the hard social right-wing Mike Pence, yeah. That's a big question of mine still. But I'll take Mike Pence over Donald Trump simply because Donald Trump is such a disturbing, divisive person. Always looking for an argument. Can't we just get along? Hey, will you stop the N-word here? Thank you. Appreciate it. No, I'm not. Your Bitcoin address is not. Yeah, I understand. Blockchain.com. They wanted my bank account. I'm not going to give my bank account away to blockchain.com, dude. Sorry. No, not going to happen. Thanks for offering, though. I do have a Bitcoin purse over at davidsponheim.com. You don't seem to get that. Alex Jones seems to have proof Michelle Obama is a man. Yeah, so do I. Lots of proof. Why do I have to talk about that every night? Oh, now Alex Jones apologized. First he said she was a man, then he apologized. Now he has proof she's a man. I have proof too. That's special.
You're not going to believe this, but Alex Jones has proof Michelle Obama is a man. Go ahead, Alex.
The pleats at...
In her pants, her shoulders are wide, her face is very, very masculine. She looks like a tranny. And so
wait a second. We're not allowed to talk about tranny. That's a bad word.
You ask yourself, are the children a beard for Obama? And of course, have a very large penis in her pants. Her shoulders are wide. Her face is very, very masculine. She looks like a tranny. And so you ask yourself, are the children a beard for Obama? And, of course, Michelle Obama or Michael Obama.
We're out of the feed exactly from InfoWars. We're going to go pick up right now with Michelle Obama during the Ellen DeGeneres show, dancing. Take a look at this. You're not going to believe what I'm seeing here. What appears to be a very large penis flapping in the jumpsuit of one Michael Obama.
All right. Thank you, Alex, for your tidbit. Now back to you in the studio. You know, I've been fighting for this discussion to open up and see prosecution of Obama's for lying to us, but Trump hasn't done anything. I will, in 2021, open an investigation into Barack Obama and Michelle Obama committing fraud to the American people. I will. Unlike Trump, who believed for a while, because it was convenient to believe that Barack Obama was born in Mombasa, Kenya. But I will go out of my way to make sure we prosecute Barack Obama for faking his long-form birth certificate, unlike Barack Obama being prosecuted under Trump because he wasn't. All right? So we got 38% of the country who still think he was born in Mombasa. And I'm more than willing to prosecute him because we have enough evidence. All I have to do is bring Joe Arpaio forward, and he has the cold case posse on this. And he'll give us the skinny on whether Barack Obama is a real black man born in Honolulu or he's some sort of a Kenyan. I know. So we will get to the bottom of that ASAP. As well as Hillary Clinton prosecution. We all want to do that. Yes, we do. Hang on, I get me. So one thing I have determined is that Donald Trump isn't able to follow up on anything he says he's going to do. Is that right? He basically BS's his way through life. It's not a comedy routine, it's for real. Why would you think it's a comedy routine? Walla Walla. Wow, that's weird. We had a person in here trying to attack us. I don't know anybody by that name. Walla Walla. Yeah, well, I'm not big on the Hillary thing either, because she did, violate numerous laws, in my opinion, when she absconded with $5.4 billion in budgeting for the Haitian people. Oh, there they are, the Haitian people. Yeah, you're a bad man. You're a very bad man. Some people think I am this child actor. I mean, how absurd. I don't even look like this young kid, Not a bit. You're a very bad man. Just playing around with you. David, what president has done anything they promised in their first 4 years? I would say Jimmy Carter did. Jimmy Carter was one of our best presidents.
I'll definitely lower the speed limit to 55 miles an hour. And I did lust after a Playboy magazine.
No, that's not Ron Howard. It might have been. I think you are right. Yeah, that is Ron Howard. Ron Howard and I don't look alike anymore. Yeah, we did for a while, but his prototype faded away rather quickly. The problem with making lots of money in Hollywood, it ages you, It makes you old real fast. I'm so glad I didn't make lots of money in Hollywood. Good job, Dave. Yeah, we're about the same age. Yeah. That was not Ron Howard. You are correct, sir. What about those vaccine inserts? Yeah, what's all that about? Okay, so you're telling me that due to allergies, a chef must know all the ingredients of a cupcake, but A doctor doesn't need to know the ingredients of the vaccines? Okay. Yeah, that's the common sense question people are asking about vaccines. Yeah, you must know, due to allergies, a chef must know all the ingredients of a cupcake, but not vaccines. Isn't that interesting? Very good one. Thank you very much. You are so awesome. You're awesome. Yes, you are. You're a Bill Mummy? Huh? IMDb? It was Bill Mummy? Oh, you're right. Yeah, you might be right about that. Famous for his credits. Oh, yeah, you're so right. You know, that I don't look quite like him, but he, you know, he's a good guy, you know. I didn't even know he existed. Now I do. Thank you for sharing. There he is. He and I don't look a bit alike. Not a bit. Yeah, so there's no comparison whatsoever. So, guys, what do you say we dedicate the show to John Lennon or Bill Mummy? One or the other. Yeah, we don't care about Frank here. He's one of Mark's puppet people that get lots of money. We're not into money, in case you didn't know. Yeah, I'm not. Sarah might like money. I'm not big on money. I'm more along the lines of what this Chinese person said. We want to be friends with Americans. World leaders do not cooperate for the benefit of the people. This is a real person. This is not some fake troll calling in. This guy really worked hard to get his voice heard on our show. And frankly, I'm going to put that rock solid in the front of the show here. Look at that. Putin and Trump are puppets. That's right. And Xi Jinping that's what he meant by saying he's a doll. He's a pup. They're puppets. Good point. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in here. Frank Taylor is a guy who broadcasts on Vaughn, you know, the lesser network. Yeah, he does a show over there, and he and Mark are pretty close. I think Mark pays his bills or something like that. We're not allowed to threaten people in this show. I'm so sorry. I had to kick you out of the show. That's the last time you'll threaten Pearson. We're not allowing threats here. The bacteria they put in vaccines does not excite the immune system into activity. It had metals in it to do that. Yeah. There's all kinds of crap in vaccines. I know, that's my point. Okay, you copied a bad thing that somebody said. I got that. Yeah, it's what people... Eric is not exactly happy with the Republicans here, Mad Dog. You know that. You and Eric have all had a constant argument from the beginning. You're holding the line of conflict here. You're both towing the line of animosity from the right to the left, and vice versa. You and Eric are at odds, Mad Dog. Yeah, so Trump was very upset a phone call didn't come through to him in 2017 from Vladimir Putin. That to me is proof Trump and Putin are working together. Yeah. Trump said, and I quote, "What the hell were you thinking?" Trump berated a White House staff for not telling him Putin was calling him, trying to call him. Yeah, this is a story from 2017. It finally came out. It was revealed that Michael Flynn was actually trying to intercept Trump and saying, yeah, Putin was trying to get a hold. Of course Michael Flynn was trying to get a hold of Michael Flynn and Trump. Of course Michael Flynn was working for Putin. But he didn't hand the phone to him in a timely manner, so Trump berated him. What the hell were you thinking?
Prescription medicine. There was actually notes and a paper. He had written a note, and on Sunday we'll show you what that note said.
So in the piece you were heard saying that a guard was saying, breathe, Jeffrey, breathe. So this was widely known what was happening in the prison, or we aren't sure?
Well, we know the way that the prison was set up. He was in a secure area where there were about 8 cells. And so we have heard, and our sources tell us that the guards could be overheard saying, breathe, Epstein, breathe. And what's kind of eerie is that...
That's right. Don't worry, be happy said, didn't Trump say that he didn't know Putin a few years ago? Yeah, totally. Oh, he said he knew him and he didn't know him at the same time. Epstein, yeah. Epstein were covering up his death. But he really didn't die, we know that. Huh? What? Yeah, you mean Epstein's alive? Yeah, dude. For sure. Yeah, for sure, dude. Yep. Please stop angering each other. That would be great. I'll kick you both out if I have to. Not permanently, mind you, but we're looking at all kinds of bad things you've been saying. Hey, they're allowed to say those things to each other. It's not like a death threat or anything. Right. He has to. No, he doesn't have to. No. This is how it works, guest 984. Jeffrey Epstein had top-level security systems in his underground palace at Little St. James Island. He is now living on Big St. James Island. So, yeah. Here's a photograph from one of his locations on Little St. James Island from 2007. Now, the FBI never investigated this beyond what we're showing you right now, but in this photograph of his security cameras, which he had, you can still see about 8 women or 8 girls sitting on buckets in there, all huddled together underground. So I would bring cadaver dogs out to Little St. James Island and skip loaders and pull up the dirt and see what we can find. Yeah, definitely. I don't think you can get away with not doing that, but apparently he's too well protected. He's still alive. Epstein's still alive. Yeah, he's definitely out there, and that's my opinion, of course, but I've got more than enough verifiable evidence to back it up. Wow. Okay. Okay, I think we're good there. We have a question from Big Twitter here. He's here to talk about one more thing here. Let me take a look. We got a person who finally got out of the lockup in China. Yes, that's correct. Let's see what else you say. Epstein is only a small part of the big problem. We must remember that he is only an exhibition. Very interesting. Yeah, you're right. Epstein is just the front guy who does all the blackmailing of politicians. Good point. He's just the front man. They're introducing cannabis plants to China. Here it's ancient traditional medicine. Now it is illegal and dangerous with serious legal narcotics. Really? So you guys Chinese have made cannabis illegal. Good night, DT. Sleep well. Sleep well. Yeah, we've got a Chinese guy who got out of his network. It's hard to get out of the internet or intranet in China. So he said that they're going to make marijuana illegal. It's been part of traditional medicine, or cannabis has, for years. And now they're doing what our country did 35. So hopefully there's hope for people around the world that maybe we won't turn the world into a tyrannical cyber social credit world where everyone is checked by Big Brother. I don't know. I still have hope that we can democratize this nation and spread the good word around the world to make people free again. We don't want to be enslaved. Humans don't want to have this social credit system laid on them. At least in America, we reject it. China, there was a grassroots poll done. 58% reject the social credit system in China. This just in. An Alabama woman who texted she might be in trouble was found dead. Peyton Houston, 29, was last seen in a bar in Birmingham, and she was left with 2 men apparently willingly, and she's gone now. There she is. Wow. They're handling it, the death investigation, Jefferson County is, so hopefully something will happen. Yeah, poor guy. I mean, the whole family is devastated. Wow. Okay, there's a big Twitter war going on. between Melania and others, I guess. Melania Trump humiliation was picked apart by Chrissy Teigen in a devastating Twitter spat with robot Flotus. She left the bar with a couple men. What was she thinking? And I don't know. That's my concern. Okay, thank you. Melania Trump was at the center of a personal attack by model and TV personality Chrissy Teigen, who claimed that Flotus was a robot. Okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look.
Created a, quote, cordial but not close dynamic, and at times friction. There are similarities that have reportedly caused static.
This is a very special place. I will never forget.
Melania Trump's first being an odd dynamic, switching off front seat, back seat as the two women in Trump's orbit. A relationship that one source with knowledge of the relationship says has created a, quote, cordial but not close dynamic, and at times friction. There are similarities that have reportedly caused static.
This is a very special place. I will never forget.
Melania Trump's first big solo trip was to Africa, and Ivanka's first big solo trip was also to Africa. Melania Trump was the first to introduce highly produced mini videos of her events for public consumption. Ivanka now makes her own short films with voiceovers and music. On trips with Trump steps forward. President.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people who run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it.
Okay, thank you.
Police now know that
School Board Policy 7.3.
from the moment Clay Duke spray painted a V on the wall.
Okay, we're going to be bringing that story to you in just a bit. Politicians within the mass shooting. Yeah, it looks weird. Thank you. Got a lot of tabs open here. At least. Now. Developing. President Trump has filed court documents asking a New York judge to dismiss an allegation from a woman who claimed he raped. It's definitely a... Thanks for that link. Yep.
The world had no idea President Donald Trump had a daughter other than Ivanka until he became a president.
Wow, she's picked up a little bit of weight since her mom. Look at this, the suspects. It's a measure of how secure we are or versus how free we are, right? This is from an iRing camera showing a suspect entering a field of view. Each of the suspects appear to be between 5'7" and 5'11", according to the news release. Okay, and they're all wearing hoodies. In the attached video, one suspect is wearing a dark-colored jacket with a gray hooded sweatshirt. The second suspect wearing a gray hooded... Yeah, this is pretty much the standard maneuver. It's a gang-related shooting in Graniteville. All right, well, good luck identifying those. Thank you. Please, Mr. Dave. So Donald Trump threatening to prosecute Hillary Clinton was a pretty amazing video from 2016, and he never did. It's kind of sad. I know a lot of people wanted to see prosecution because there's so many things that happened under Clinton when she was Secretary of State. Many people are really quite disturbed by it. Yeah, as I said earlier, that the relationship between Donald Trump and Prince MBS is undermined by the relationship between Vladimir Putin and Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And this is evident in this picture here. The high fiver with Donald in the background going, I wish I was as cool as they are. Ooh.
You mentioned this high five between Mohammed bin Salman and...
Isn't that amazing? So if you're wondering if the price of oil is going up, it is. Just as we predicted, prospect of war pushes oil to a 7-month high. So that makes me wonder if all of this is just this elaborate diversion. You know, Donald Trump needs something to talk about besides besides his impeachment. And then this is another alternative discussion, possibly let's start a war, push the price of oil up so we'll help Vladimir Putin. Oil prices spiked immediately after the U.S. killed Iranian General Soleimani on Thursday. Ahead of the force of the Revolutionary Guard, he was a very powerful Iranian, often likened to a shadow foreign minister. And this automatically sent the price of oil going up, 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 which is a very interesting connection. So what if Putin and Trump are working together to spike the price of oil? Because remember, that's exactly what Putin wants, is a high price of oil. We also saw that particular clip of the embassy attack, and it did kind of look like there was some sort of a squib going off at that embassy. And it looked like everyone was very well dressed out there. You notice all those rioters looked like they were well dressed, like there was a catering truck out there. You got to wonder. The Iranians have had an ice cream store in the Green Zone for almost a decade now, very popular. We've invited Iranians into the entire Green Zone. What's going on? Why now the big thing, Check this out. I can't get that article. No. A woman ran house, begged help, doorway camera caught man dragging her away. Well, I'll take a look at it if I could get it up on my screen. Hang on. One moment, please. Let's see if I can bring it in. Sometimes they block me because I have ad block or something. A woman ran to a house to beg for help. A doorbell camera caught a man dragging her away. Whoa. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. Video content is graphic, so be careful. Hold your hands over your eyes. Looking for help. Oh my God. I cannot see anybody getting kicked. That's just too much to look at. That's making me more frightened than ever before. Is that was your intention to make... Oh my gosh, your account name is Dungeon Master. What are you, some sort of a sadist? You send me links of people being beaten up in their front yard? Wow, that's weird. Show some mercy, Jesus. Here's an ongoing discussion about cars being melted, like the ones in Australia we looked at earlier. The primary metal in most cars is steel. Steel in general needs to reach 2,500 degrees or hotter to melt. Whoa. Aluminum can melt at 1,200, so thin parts are likely to melt, but yeah. So apparently it takes about 2,500 degrees. That means that those fires can't possibly be forest fires. We don't know what happened. All we know is it was very violent. Yeah, and we didn't know what to think. I mean, I've got a video I'll be showing at the end of the show, which is what the police do when you call them. Not a very fun video, but very violent. And I try to minimize violence during the recorded broadcast, Most cars are plastic, so they're immune to microwave oven beams. Okay. I don't believe most cars are plastic, although Priuses are. Well, we've got a lot of stuff. We've got this song, we're going to play it by Rob Hustle called Call the Cops. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to play that at the beginning of our 10 o'clock hour. Mr. David came out of the corner with a lead pipe wearing his Obama black fat and looked like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. I've never done any violent acts against anybody. More pics of Michelle Obama, really? She's very popular.
When the guard is let down, what most people don't know is that the appearance of the Adam's apple can be diminished through surgery, but it cannot be fully removed.
Good to know. These people are experts on Michelle Obama. They know that Michelle's a dude. I hope Michelle comes out this year as a transgender. That would be a big step in the right direction, and then they can face the fraud charges, she and her husband. Or would Brock be his wife? I saved a woman? When was that? I never saved anybody. You're making up stories. I have saved some people in the street, but you would never know about that. It's going to get rough, so change is coming. In the UK, police take about 4 hours to get to a crime scene. Even if you happen to be holding an armed person down, they still take 4 hours to get there. Well, at least they come responding in America, although they kill a lot of people. That's the problem. We have good rapid response time, but we end up killing about 1,200 people a year die by cop. How did I save the woman in the video? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Are you living in the video? Are you confused as to what's reality and what's video? So this was the live leak of the bombing of Soleimani. This is from our government perspective. Wow. That was scary. Russia is profiting off global warming. That'll be a show tonight in our lineup. This is one of the Vice shows, so we'll play that for you. Yeah, Russia could be profiting from this whole global climate change scam that Greta was putting forth. You know, Greta.
It is, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world.
Oh, you believe that? Okay, you're a real idiot, girl. Yeah, real idiot. She is totally gone. I mean, if she actually believes the banks are going to save the world, ha! They're the ones that have been financing the industrialists who pollute the world. Duh! You have to understand our problem. It seems we're heavy with problems. Truth is, we see it because we now have the tech. Okay, are you talking about the UK? All right. Well, the tech is there to see and spot crimes, but I don't think response time has changed across the globe, really, when you think about it. I know someone put her up to it. Greta is a total puppet of the George Soros New World Order cap and trade carbon point legislation group. She believes what she's saying, but that's sad because she never really learned. She never mentioned chemtrails once. She doesn't talk about ways we can fix the earth.
The money is there if we can save the banks. The money is there if we can save the banks. If we can save the banks. If we can save the bank.
She's not talking. She's saying that if we can save the banks, the money is there to save the world. That's just total insanity. You don't get it, do you, Guess 599, do you? She represents the big banks. They're not going to clean the environment. They just want to tax your ass. They want you to pay more money when you have a piece of burger. You have to pay for the flatulence of the cow, all the terrible water resources that the cow drank and ate when it was grazing on the grass. You do get it? Okay, thank you. Grazie. Milio grazie. Gracias. Hey, let's see how Trump can derail his own re-election. Zero Hedge has a story here. How Trump can derail his own re-election? Well, one thing he can do is stumble into war. Yep. Moreover, the opposition shaping up to bring him down seems to be put it charitably not up to the task. Joe Biden, not really a challenger. Tom Steyer, Mike Bloomberg. I think Biden's got the best chance. While Trump is facing an impeachment trial, an acquittal by Mitch McConnell-run Republican Senate seems a pretty good bet. And the coming report of U.S. Attorney John Durham into the origins of the Russiagate probe is expected to find political bias. I don't believe it's enough political bias to uproot the Russian investigation. There's more than enough evidence that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. So I don't think this is a real story. Yeah, I don't know how it will uproot anything at this point. I think that's a bogus story coming out of the CIA. Alex Trebek is going to be making a few announcements on his show. He's already prepping for his final show. A very sad day for him. Oh, I'm sorry, we can't watch it. ET won't let me see it. But yeah, they say he's preparing for his last show, Alex Trebek. And let's not forget the same thing happened under Bill Clinton. Impeachment vote in House delayed as Clinton launches a airstrike, citing military need to move swiftly. I never had sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky, but we better start a war against Iraq. He didn't start the war, George W. Bush did. People die fighting for democracy. Laura and I never did. Okay. We'll play that Epstein video again for you tonight. About 60 minutes. They've got new evidence about why he was mishandled in jail, but not much more. Okay, and satellite, and we're done with there. Okay. Gosh, I got all my ducks in line for tonight's evening video show. Thank you. An airstrike in Iraq hit a convoy of Iranian-backed paramilitary forces. So apparently they've got a lot of airstrikes going on against Iraq, and we're going to see why Iran is moving into Iraq. It makes no sense. If Iranian forces are in Iraq, I think we had every right to take them down. That's going to be my final position, although I do believe that it could have been a diversion. That's a plausible theory that this whole thing is being used as a diversion. But if Iranian forces are indeed working in Iraq to undermine the Iraqi government or control it, then I think we made the right decision, and I applaud Donald Trump's attempt to, stop Soleimani from doing what he has done. So I'm practical that way. If this really is a direct attack on our allies in Iraq, then so be it. But if this is a ploy by Trump as a diversion, that would be a bad thing. You guys were eating cheese pizza on Friday night? That's cool, You don't have to worry. I won't tell anybody. Except the wheat belly bandit who will take away your nice thin waistline and give you a fat belly. That's right, pizza is filled with wheat that's genetically modified that could very well cause you to gain weight, just so you know. Always be aware of that. All right. Wow. Well, without going too deep into old news, I'd rather just, let it rest on what it is. We've done enough. We've covered the bases. Obviously, freedom is under attack every day. Whenever you hear the Democrats pitching for gun control, we're seeing more and more of that happening. Yeah. And now in Virginia, there's going to be a potential standoff and a possible checkpoint Charlie for gun inspections. And everybody who's against gun control in Virginia is really up in arms, literally up in arms. So we're going to see possible flare-ups in the country due to gun control advocates taking control, minor control, like 51% over the state legislatures of states like Virginia, swing states. So it's a potential flare-up if Donald Trump doesn't stand up for the Second Amendment and make a moral effort to tell these Democrats to back off. If Trump doesn't do that, then I guess we're looking at, many people being very angry at their guns being taken away in certain states. And we've got another PK censored video called NASA Uses Rats to Man its SpaceX. Hilarious. Yeah, PK ran with that story we had the other night, showing the fuselage of a rocket, which looks like some sort of a stage prop that NASA put together. And he's going to run a 4.5-minute video about that here. We saw that the other night. That was pretty interesting. The fuselage.
Videos exposing NASA to be one of the greatest liars, if not the greatest lying organisation, call it what you like, in history.
Yeah, he saw the same thing we saw, which was a rat going around a circle in this rocket blast. It was the weirdest thing. It was like a prop rocket that had a rat living in it. Very interesting. We'll be playing that a little later tonight, too. Thank you, Scissorfight. I know. We're definitely dealing with some strange times. Fake news predominates in many different areas, especially areas that Donald Trump doesn't call fake news. Like events that are going on, shootings around the country that don't seem legitimate. Many people are wondering where the evidence of the people that die are in this show, the shows we see. And how come we are seeing some fake stuff from International Space Station? Now, Elon Musk gets money from NASA, of course, to do that, but why so much fakery? Well, because he's smoking a doobie on the side, that's why. Yeah. All right, that's good for that. We're still following up on the news that the House could come up with more impeachment charges against Donald Trump. They definitely want Donald McGahn to testify because he would show clearly that Donald Trump tried to fire Mueller 5 times. He's already testified to that effect. Trump won't let the guy testify. He's obstructing justice, obstructing Congress by keeping him from testifying. Trump won't let Mick Mulvaney testify. He won't let Giuliani testify, but Giuliani wants to testify. And ironically, the Republicans don't even want anyone to testify now. They just want to close the case because they want to hide everything. They don't want anyone to know that Putin is working or that Trump is working for Putin. And this is the big story that could flare up for Donald Trump. The judge rejects the government's motion to toss out a suit over missing Trump-Putin meeting notes. Now, if there are meeting notes out there, we would find out what Trump said with Putin, but technically, Trump has not said anything. He's never, ever made any copies of their audio tapes, but he's talked for 13 hours. We don't know what he said to Putin. We don't even know when he asked Putin if he can come take a visit, what he's saying. So the very fact that Trump has been not transparent is really, really sad. And the fact that he's hidden his relationship with Putin is equally sad. So we all know now that Trump is hiding something. The question is, why don't the Republicans understand that's an example of corruption? You'd think that would be the number one thing they would ask. Are you hiding something, Donald? Do you know Vladimir Putin? Yeah. Wow, it just didn't pop up. I think I'm going to get a new, I'm thinking of getting a new hard drive. There's something wrong with the hard drive. It's just not seeking the images fast enough. It's been a while. Every time I play that, we always have a problem pulling it up.
What exactly is your relationship with Vladimir Putin? I have no relationship with Putin.
Do you have a relationship with Vladimir Putin, a conversational relationship, or anything that you feel you have sway or influence over his government?
I do have a relationship, and I can tell you that he's very interested in what we're doing here today. He's probably very interested in what you and I are saying today, and I'm sure he's going to be seeing it in some form. But I do have a relationship with him.
I have no relationship with him. But if you have no relationship with Putin, then why did you say in 2013, I do have a relationship? In 2014, I spoke...
Because he has said nice things about me over the years. I remember years ago, he said something many years ago, and we did 60 Minutes together. By the way, not together, meaning he was probably shot in Moscow.
Well, he was in Moscow, you were in New York. But that's the thing.
No, just so you understand, he said very nice things about me, but I have no relationship with him.
When I went to Russia with the Miss Universe pageant, he contacted me and was so nice.
You said for 3 years, 13, 14, and 15, that you did have a relationship with him.
No, look, what do you call a relationship? I mean, he treats me with great respect. I have no relationship with Putin.
Okay, we've heard this many times. It's kind of a cliche now, and he keeps lying about it. But if this suit moves forward, we may very well find out why Donald Trump suppressed the notes of that first meeting and never made a copy of any other meetings he had with Putin. Yeah, this is just a telltale sign of a real liar. He made no tapes of Putin whatsoever. There you have it. All right. On that note, I will sign off, and I'll be back on Saturday with a Sustainable Saturday show starting at 5 o'clock. Thank you for coming in and participating in our regular show. I'll be online here watching the videos to come. We got a lot of good videos lined up for you from 153news.net and videos from people like PK Censored and others to give you more clarity that you don't get in the mainstream media. All right, thank you for coming in and listening to me, David Sponheim, Mr. Right.
You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find, they found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I find, they found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat.